So, welcome everybody to the Tower of Saragosa. I'll be your games master this afternoon. I'm Bryan F. Irving from DH9 Radio and Gethsemane Games. We'll be playing the Tower of Saragosa, a scenario of my own devising, using many of the maps created by myself for Gethsemane Games, which you can find on our Patreon if you would like to use them for your own games. Just check the Gethsemane Games Patreon. You can sign up to that for as little as £3 a month. The scenario is by me, but the rule system is by Green Ronin Publishing and is the Fantasy Age system, one of our favourites here. Our cast today are Patrick Heaviside as Gurra Clovenhelm.
Hello.
Shaun McGuile as Kellen of Highgate.
Afternoon.
Louise Morris as Mog of the Bright Eye Clan.
Hello!
And the music you'll be hearing is variously by the DH9 Radio Production Unit, Battle Bards, Incompetech.com, and of course primarily by Tabletop Audio. I think most of them are from. Okay, so that's us ready to begin. Last week the party were in the depths of the ancient dungeons beneath the Tower of Saragosa, which should perhaps be renamed now they have discovered that it was not actually his tower initially. The dungeons themselves predate the tower, but the horror they've been facing is the Iron Maiden that was made from Saragosa's old and loyal servant. Made against his will, he was tricked into it by the demon whose heart is said to be located somewhere in this dungeon. During the combat, the party noticed the master and mistress coming out of the darkness in the distance and have yet to discover which side, if any, they will join in on in this battle against this monstrous creature in an attempt to put the soul trapped inside of it to rest. With that, I will take you all over to the battlefront right now, which is over here. That one. And as we descend into the depths and the darkness, I will zoom us in, and I think we join the... You're not going to believe that, but Sister Erin's appeared in the wall again.
She's sneaky her, like she's spying on everyone. That's hilarious.
Every time I take the players over to a map, one of their NPC retainers tokens just materializes in a wall. It seems to be a glitch on one of the APIs that's been set up, which is intended to move the players to a new map if they are moved onto a map where their tokens are not already located. And it always has. It just does it with Sister Erin as well. It doesn't do it with Baden. So I don't know quite what's happening there, but never mind. Okay, so I believe... Yep, go ahead.
We sent them out into the wilderness where we'd previously been attacked by methods and all sorts of things.
Yes, that's right.
Is she trying to get a message to us?
It might be...
Baden's currently fighting, which is why he doesn't appear. But she's desperately concentrating on us.
It might be her ghost trying to haunt you for sending them to their deaths.
Oh, she's already died. Oh my god.
Well, we don't know. Anyway,
where are we going to get another spy?
You have to recruit another one from the Abbey. Right. So we're in the bowels having a battle on a bridge.
Yes, on quite a rickety bridge, which.
Well, we're not on a bridge, but yeah.
Yeah, which keeps creaking under the weight of both the Iron Maiden and when Kellen was on it, was creaking under the weight of him and his armour as well. So, yeah, who knows?
How dry does that wood look?
How dry does it look? Not very.
Not very. It would be damp. It's in a damp environment.
Yeah, it's a damp environment. It's showing signs of damp and possibly a little bit of rot.
Flask of oil.
Yeah. Okay, so
have I got any left?
He's looking. He's looking.
it's turn 5 and it's Kellen to act. What would you like to do?
Yeah, okay. It's going to be another, I don't know, swing of the sword at this point, I think. I don't think there's anything else relative at this point to do.
Hard to say. But okay, let me just pop the Iron Maiden up so I know what your target number to hit him is, and it is a mere 10. It's fairly easy to hit.
Wait, okay, hold on. Let me get to the right thing. Da, 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 da. Take that.
Okay, that was a 17 with 3 points of stunts. That's a hit.
Remember that Kellen does have one banked stunt from Adrienne.
That's right.
Okay, in that case, we'll add an extra dice of damage and do penetrating attack.
Right, okay, so
For
his
4
armor only
in
counts
total
as half. Yeah.
to take that down, as it were.
And, okay, right, nasty. So, 5, 13. And if I subtract 13 from that, as you can see, it's an extremely bad way. You bring your sword down in a flurry of blows, raining it down on its head and shoulders. Eventually, you get a blow in through the faceplate into the tortured remains of the soul within. It shrieks an ear-piercing and terrifying shriek. Could I have a willpower morale test from everybody? Willpower courage would also suffice.
Oh, the horror.
Is faith applicable?
Yes, I will allow faith. Nice for you to get a chance to use it now you've finally bought it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Goris seems to be the only person to have failed at target number 13.
Or
Yes, if you have any points left in your...
Have we got any? So let's have a scroll up.
I thought you had one left.
I think you've got one left.
Oh, hands equals 5. We're fine.
Oh, yes, because did you not recast it towards the end of last
yeah.
week? Yeah. So do you want to use a point to pass your fear test?
I think that would be very wise.
Adrienne needs to make a roll at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
I came out of that so I could check for the hands points.
Yep.
Is self-discipline one of the ones you said there?
No, morale or courage.
Morale or courage, right, okay.
However, she's fine. Not only fine, but came out of that with 5 stunt points. So yes, she's not perturbed by this soul-shattering, agonised screaming at all. Unmoved, you might say.
We've killed demons.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've seen bodies split apart and other demons come out of them.
Yes. Mog of the Bright Eye Clan, you to go next. What would you like to do?
What do you think I'd like to do? Right, yeah, this thing's dexterity is terrible. Yes, I'm going to hit it with an axe.
Okay. You're going to take a swing.
Since I'm starting next to it, I'm going to use aim.
You're going to use aim. Right, you are. +1 to hit. Also, you outnumber the opponent, so also +1 to hit. Excellent.
Okay, so there's another +1 to add to that.
There is indeed. So that's a definite hit. Go ahead and roll the damage. Hello, kitten. My cat has come to investigate the fact that my wife has just handed me cake.
Don't forget we've also got Chosen of Fate running as well.
Yes, you might need to remind me what Chosen of Fate does, as it's a relatively new...
When Kellen rolled to attack there, he could have re-rolled his stunt die for free.
No, we'll leave it as it stands.
Yeah, but you get to pick the best.
Okay, all right. Well, let's if it comes up at a 4 or better, right? I won't have used the banked stunt point.
Right. Yes. Okay.
It's a 4, right?
So you haven't used the banked stunt point. That still exists. Yeah. Okay. So Mog, you've hit. You've got 3 points has gone past this creature, so you whack it right in the back of the head. Your axe sticks in the back of its helmet.
It turned around. It's in the front of its helmet.
It turned around. Your axe is stuck in the front of its helmet. It takes you a moment to wiggle it free and get it back out. The thing is staggering and clanking. There's steam emerging from it, which is odd because it isn't steam powered. There's blood, which looks black and clotted, just kind of slopping out of it rather than spurting. There is rotting flesh just dropping out of the gaps. The whole thing looks like it's going to keel over at any moment. And with that, it is Mistress Inhalia to act. And she is going to cast a spell. I can't remember which one, but I know she's going to cast a spell.
Bravery.
Sorry for this poor guy.
Sorry, say that again.
I feel quite sorry for this poor guy inside of this thing.
Well, he's been trapped in there for 200 years and he didn't want to be in there in the first place, so it's the experience.
We're setting him free the only way we can.
Yes, that's the only way you know how to free him.
She's going to cast anti-amnesia on herself. That's what she's doing.
I think she's going to cast one of our defensive spells because she's still not sure about you lot. So, yeah, I just need to double check that because she did have a few other options as well.
They've rocked up to another fight after having run away to continue being ambiguous.
Well, they've come straight down the corridor to get to where they were trying to get, to find you guys are here again, destroying stuff that belongs to them. Well, this doesn't really belong to them, to be fair. This has been a bane in their lives as well. So, however, that's not going to stop her doing something.
I'm just putting in mind of that advert from Ghostbusters. Do you hear strange noises in your attic or basement? It's like, both. There was a demon up at the top and there's this thing down here.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're going to cast a... Now, she's already got that one on, so she doesn't need to cast that. So, I need to rethink that again. Actually, at this point, she's probably not going to. She's just going to turn around and run away. That's what she's going to do. So,
Okay.
yelling at her husband to follow.
Reasonable.
Her husband doesn't get to act just yet, but...
Mr. Angry.
Yes, Mr. Angry about everything, yeah. Now, I measured out where she could get to if she ran away earlier before play started, so I know where it is. If she uses both a major and a minor action, she'll get all the way to there. It's Adrienne to go next. What would you like to do?
I am Maiden, and she's doing Run to the Hills.
Oh, dear.
Just to be certain, this way around is blocked by the edge of the well, yeah?
Yeah.
So
yes, that's right.
you can't just sort of walk around.
That's the pipe thing, yes.
Yeah.
Right. So you would have to sort of get into the water
Uh-huh.
and out to get to where the back of Mock is. Yeah.
You would, yes.
Right. Okay. So I can't, as Guru and Adrienne are sort of discussing these things, I suppose, or tipping each other the wink. Guru wouldn't be able to get round to help Morg, but could get round to help Kellen, provided Adrienne is out of the way.
Steps back into the corridor.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And I think the other thing we need to do is just to get more damage on this thing. So Shadow Dagger, I think.
Mm-hmm. There's not much of the thing left, to be honest.
Yeah.
It has not proved to be the threat it appears to be on paper, but never mind.
Have I clicked the wrong one there?
Nope, that appears to be it.
Well, that's an attack, not a cast.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have, so you have clicked the wrong one, yeah.
Right, I'll throw it out as a cast as well, just to get the target number.
Yeah, there we go. So that's 4, 8...
was
actually,
11.
It's already...
Yeah,
yeah, but it hadn't added all the...
The target number was 11, so the original roll was 11, so that is a hit, yeah?
Yeah, the original roll...
The original
doesn't
roll.
add everything, though, so we... No, it does. Okay, so yes, 11, and with... Well, we'll keep the original roll and no stun points. So that's a pass. Mm-hmm. So she summons the shadows around her, there's plenty of them, and casts them down towards I've got a shadow dagger set up here somewhere. Cast it down towards the creature. Roll the damage. Okay, describe to me, if you would be so kind, how Adrienne ends the torment of this poor butler.
Gathering the shadow to her hands, forming a dagger, casting it down across the pool, directly into the open visor where Mogged opened a much larger wound, ploughing straight between its eyes into its tortured brain, ending its suffering.
As she does this, you hear the shriek one last time, but it doesn't seem quite as horrific as before. It's almost a sense of relief from the tormented soul trapped within the Iron Maiden as the massive metal monstrosity topples sideways and with a huge splash falls into the runoff channel over here. Dead. Destroyed. Now nothing more than a tangled mass of arcane metals and the rotting remains of the creature that was trapped within, which is sloughing off so quickly in the water. You probably don't want to drink this water now. That there's little more than a skeleton left inside, and with that, the front face of the Iron Maiden, the door sort of cracks open. And inside you can see the rapidly sloughing off remains of the butler as he's reduced to nothing more than a skeleton, and these huge massive spikes that must have been penetrating his body for the last 200 years.
Such cruelty.
Indeed so. So, Goro, what would you like to do?
Combat continues.
I was just about to say, are we still in combat?
Well, you don't know, because you don't know what's happening with the master and the mistress. I can't really say. I can't really come out of combat without announcing that that's definitely them, not an enemy, and you don't know yet. So, what would you like to do?
I need to go and give a blessing to the butler.
Right. Yes.
Well, we normally tend to do that at the end of combat. You know, so I suppose we have got a standing threat down the corridor.
Yeah. Well, you don't know if it's a threat. The point is, combat or not combat is a meta-game concept, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, so Gora can see the master.
Yes.
Which way is he facing?
Well, because combat time runs in fragments of a bit. Yeah. He's still facing you because he's coming down that corridor. His turn hasn't occurred yet. So this is what I'm saying about being careful to separate the narrative from the metagame.
Right. Well, Gora perceives him as a threat.
Right.
So she's not going to go and do something like distracting, like laying a body to rest when there's a potential threat just down the corridor.
Okay.
He hasn't opened fire.
No.
We've never actually attacked him, as far as we've never sent damage his way, have we?
I'm trying to think back. I can't remember. Is the answer?
No, nobody's actually ever hit him at our party.
And I do seem to recall, beyond anything else, as far as metagame goes, Goro wasn't even in the room. It was Kellen who was dealing with him.
That's right. And actually, he's never done anything like deadly to any of you either. He's cast spells to impede your progress. He's cast spells to literally slip you up.
Hang on. No, he has.
Has he?
Yeah.
He was casting some sort of blood wound.
Oh yes, so he did. Yes, it was him that did the yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Set your blood on fire.
Yes. Okay, so yes, he has definitely attacked you in the past, but you've never attacked him.
So the question is, have the rest of the party told Gora, who was not present, that he has done wounds upon them?
I don't think you've had time, to be honest. It's been kind of frenetic since you were capturing people and interrogating them, and then you get into fight more fights, and then so probably not.
Right.
Also, in the midst of that big fight, some of the things you did could be conceived as attacks, just not lethal attacks. So you're still none the wiser as to whether he's a threat to you or not.
all of this is a bit chaotic. It's all happening
Yes.
one thing after another. Gora doesn't even know for a fact that Iron Maiden's 100% dead.
Correct.
Then continuing with the plan in that case,
Okay.
I think that is the fairest thing to do in those terms.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Don't know what the
And
plan is, but
well, Adrian was getting out of the way, so Gora could get past. So she could
that
do.
plan. Right. Okay.
So she could do this.
Okay.
Holy Palor, in your name, bless this weapon.
Okay, 4 points of stunts and a successful flaming weapon. So Kellen's sword bursts into flames. He said leaps. That seems to conjure up a different image altogether. Bursts into flames.
With 4 stunt points, can you do a split spell and also ignite Mog's weapon from there, or do you have to be touching it at that point?
The basic spell, I believe, does require touch. However, I am sort of doing this divinely, so I was looking at the divine stunt table.
Use your local gadget arms.
I don't see a problem with because Mog's within what is considered touchable range, so I don't see a problem with casting it on there if you want. Oh no, she's not.
If she'd been on the bridge, if
she'd been on the bridge, she would have been.
Yeah.
However, it is a divine thing, and it is a stunt, so I will allow you to set her axe on fire as well if you would like to.
I'd very much like to do that. If you're happy for me to do so, then yes.
Yeah, I don't mind. I have 2 cups of coffee and a pile of rum and raisin cakes.
Oh god, every weapon in the place is getting set on fire.
Yeah, pretty much. Do what you like.
You've got magical ADHD.
Okay, so as Kellen's sword bursts into flames, Mog's axe blade also ignites. Both of them have now got burning weapons, therefore both of them are also shedding light. So let me just get in and adjust their dynamic lighting settings to represent this fact. Token emits light on, bright light 0, low light, I'm going to say a couple of meters, slightly not as bright as that, and light colour, a nice burny orange seems about.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that looks
looks not bad, doesn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
so token emits low light, 2 meters.
I can now see the switch in the corner.
Yes. And light colour, nice burny orange. Oof, there we go. Look at that, all the dynamic lighting settings working today. Okay, so that's Gora gone, now it's the Iron Maiden.
Sorry, what?
You can just see air escaping from the inside of the Iron Maiden where it had been trapped within, but it's just lying there, tangled wreck of metal. And let's see who looks like the most easily absorbed. Okay, you can see that the spikes that were inside suddenly lash out and try to grapple Kellen to drag him in. Could you give me a dexterity acrobatics test, please?
Dexterity acrobatics.
Cha-cha, real smooth.
Right. Okay.
19. That's easily out of the way. And because you've stunted, you jump backwards onto onto more of the solid ground rather than toppling sideways over the rail. So you jump back as this thing flails about madly, trying to grab you. That's all it can do in its currently semi-dead state. You can hear the master swear in
Demon.
Some language or other. Yeah. It's just as he sees this thing like lash out, you just hear him go, "Shit! Ah!" And as he does, he claps his hands together, emits a phrase, and blasts a spell out in your general direction, or rather the creature. Well, It's an area of effect, so in everybody's general direction. Let me just have a look at the
Salutes general
spell.
direction.
Sorry, I've just opened the.
What
Iron
is it
Maiden
with
there.
magic users and not caring about people trapped in the crossfire?
Well, you know what they say. I didn't ask how big the room was. I said I'm casting fireball.
This
Okay.
fire does not seem friendly.
No, it doesn't seem entirely friendly, but it's not actually fire either. So let me just scroll down to find it. Major ice sheet. Here we go. Let's have a bit of a cast at that.
Honestly, if I'd seen that Iron Maiden start lashing spikes towards me, I think I'd cheat as well.
Yeah. Target number was 13. He scored 5, 10, 12 by the look of it. Dear. Right, okay. So it doesn't look like he's managed to get that spell off. Unless, let me just make a quick check. Character. Checking his items. Yes, he has. He's managed to get the spell off. Okay. So,
Ooh, that sounds like a tasty item.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Come here.
Now. Behave yourself.
Oh, has he?
That's
Purely out of character for a laugh.
Dynamic. Overlay.
Have we got puppets?
I mean, you've got Puppets of Fate if you want to try it. Yeah.
I mean, well, we've got one by the look of that.
Okay.
They were kind of universally countering and puppeting all of our spells. So,
Yeah.
would we want to let him get something off?
No, let him. Well, he's cast some sort of ice blast thing. I
He
don't
has.
know.
He's cast an ice sheet, so that anything that comes up this corridor to chase him is going to struggle to get past the ice sheet. I'm just going to move it so it's the most
It's
useful
now a good
place
time to
for
tell
him.
you that the last time I leveled up, I took dexterity ice skating.
Now would be a great time to mention that. Yeah. So as he blasts the spell down, you can see what's left of the Iron Maiden starts to freeze up. There's frost appearing on the outside. The water that's flowing past is starting to freeze. You can see a thin layer of ice rippling out across the water. There's ice and frost all down the pathway at the side as well. And having done that, the master's second reaction is to run the fuck away.
So we'll have to do the cha-cha slide along the ice.
It would seem so.
Slide to the
Yes.
left.
Interesting
Okay.
point.
So, what would the party like to do at this point?
When we asked the Ouija board, when we asked
Nibiri.
Nibiri, what the master was doing, she said escaping.
Yes.
Were
I guess he came back.
they still in the midst of escaping?
You have no idea. You'd have to
They're,
go all
they're
the-
probably getting their I don't know, important documents together to do a runner with.
Yeah.
Maybe-
Did we see them carrying suitcases?
Maybe it's,
Little wheelie trolley?
Do you know you didn't?
maybe it's they pulled a Marie Antoinette and were perfectly fine and escaped, but then were like, wait a minute, all of the diamonds are back there. Let's turn around
Yeah.
and go back.
It's not something you should lose your head over, really, is it?
Let's face it, Gora would do the same for some magic items or a spell book.
Right, this-
Did you say spell book? What?
Right, on an assessment of this Iron Maiden thing, right? Yeah,
Yep.
it needs to be destroyed.
Completely,
Yes,
Yeah.
you would
Completely.
say you need to do something more to destroy the animation that's trying to grab a new victim.
But is the ice impeding it?
Yeah, actually, the ice has probably finished the job.
Do we
No,
know
it
that?
doesn't, because it doesn't do any damage. So yes, the ice is impeding it. Yeah.
Right. So, is it above the surface, below the surface? What's the effect of a fire sword against?
It is currently under the surface because it had gone into. Well, actually, it's quite big and the runoff channel is quite shallow. So It's part underneath. It's part submerged, and part of it is coming up above the surface. So it's frozen
wait,
around it, and
The top
like
bit.
it itself has got ice and frost all over it as well.
Right. Because does anybody have, I don't know, some other thing to do damage-wise to it, like acid grenades, etc.?
Oh yes.
Right.
I'd be more inclined to throw the other varieties of grenade that we've got in case we come up against another heavily armed opponent and want to reduce their armor. This thing seems to have, I would think, a maximum radius. If we back off from it, we can destroy it at range.
Right, okay.
Me, given everything's track record of trying to eat Mog.
Well, it didn't get you this time, so, you know.
I noticed that.
Oddly
Right.
enough, it didn't even go for you this time.
Yeah. Must
That,
prefer
that
tin food.
that struck me as very strange.
Struck me as strange as well.
Did it strike you at all?
Mog is not used to things that don't
Yeah,
try
yeah,
and
yeah.
devour her. Yeah.
Okay, right. In this case,
Mog now has a sense of rejection.
are we still in combat at this point or not?
No.
Right. So are we able to all move away from it to a distance where it can't flail at us?
Yeah, you can do.
I'm good with that. Right.
It
You
has
don't need to
changed
tell
from
me
being an
twice.
opponent to being a environmental hazard at the moment. So as long as you're out of the range of it, you've got nothing to worry about.
How long will it take for my powder to dry out?
Quite
Oh
some
God,
time.
mine's wet as well.
I've got a nice flaming weapon that you could try it
Ooh,
over,
good point so far.
but they would go off
Wait,
again. Though,
yeah,
wouldn't they?
that's not great. That's
I'm not
Well,
sure that drying gunpowder with an actual naked flame is the best idea I've ever heard.
today in Total Party Kills.
Flame
So-
grilled gunpowder.
So
Have it your way.
you've got two options. You can either use magic or
Mhm.
or magic, as in
Or grenades.
or grenades, which is a finite resource.
It is.
What exactly do you? How do you exactly want to do this?
I would like to pin something down with Bryan.
Go ahead.
The flames of flaming weapons.
Yes.
They don't inflict harm to the wielder.
No, because the bit you're holding isn't burning.
Well, right. So is it, for all intents and purposes, fire? It isn't just an extra damage effect in the form of fire.
No, it's
It
fire.
is-
It's
it is
fire.
in
It's the
every- it is in
blade that
every other
burns.
way.
Yeah, it's
In
the blade.
every other way, it could set fire to things and ignite stuff.
Oh, there's a spider on my wall.
I mean, it could do. Yeah.
Right. I just wanted to pin that down because it's just that line about, it doesn't do harm to the wielder thing, so that's why.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that I had a specific idea for it.
Setting
But-
the hand grip of the weapon on fire is
No.
probably
I
a
didn't,
bit
I didn't say
self-destructive.
it did that. I
Yes.
didn't did that.
I'm going to have to get this spider. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, got the headphones on.
Don't hurt it.
Hands up, everyone who's cheering on the spider.
Just put a glass over him and a card at the back and take him outside, yeah?
No, I generally leave them. If they're in our bedroom, I'll move them out into the passageway or something. But I'll leave them because they eat
Of course,
pest
yeah.
insects and whatnot. And because we live right next to a wood,
Yeah.
we get A lot of spiders and B, a lot of pest insects.
My rule is,
The
if
minute you
they're,
open a window, there's like 400 moths and a tiger. in
Yeah.
there.
Tiger. Jeez.
my rule is, if they're a polite spider who makes a nice web and sits there minding their own business, they can stay.
Yeah.
If they're a rude spider that goes running around and they're big enough to make a noise that I can hear them, then they get put outside.
Yeah.
So you're an art critic and a sizes. Wow.
So I don't mind the big ones either because they eat wasps in the summer and whatnot. So we tend to move those to rooms where we tend to have the windows open in the summer, or the porch where they can, grab anything as it comes through.
And also, they're adorable.
They are adorable. Yeah. Unfortunately, our cat does like to eat them, so I am trying to train them to stay away from cat range.
Trying to train the spiders.
Yeah, you can train spiders if you know what you're doing. for example, we've got one spider that's in the bath on a regular basis when I come into the bathroom on a morning. And because I have put it in a plastic tub and moved it so often, now if you present a plastic tub to it, it just crawls in and waits for you to move it and then crawls out when it's stopped moving.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's great.
A few months ago, in what was like the kind of spider mating season, I came down to find two very clearly male spiders, the big pedipalps, in the bath, facing away from each other,
Right.
in a very kind of, you're a bloke as well then, yeah. They just weren't looking at each other as we're kind of stuck here for now, so.
Okay, so I can hear that Shaun's returned. So what are we doing next?
Let's have a look through the menu of nasty things to throw at people. It is in the water, so would lightning now have an additional effect?
Yes, I would give it an extra 2 points of damage.
Right. Well, previously, when destroying things that are anathema to Paylor, I have called down Holy Lightning, most recently with that Adept's Wand of Death Arcana. So, am I within range for Shock Blast? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 6 meter range, square.
Yeah.
Yeah, in one direction. In which case...
Okay, go ahead and cast them.
Holy Pillow, in your name, I call down lightning to destroy this anathema to all you stand for.
There's a sudden blast of electrical energy from the ceiling directly above where the fallen Iron Maiden is. The lightning bolt hits it, instantly electrifies the entire water table, like the runoff and the sluice you're standing next to. You can see lightning crackling up around it. There's a bang sound from the Iron Maiden itself as twisted bits of extremely hot superheated metal get flung around the room as it explodes.
With six points of a divine intervention.
The very thing I was just waiting for Bryan to finish before I said it.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask for it to be destroyed as divine intervention, but as it is destroyed anyway simply by the lightning.
Yes.
Make sure none of the bits hit us.
What could we ask for? They haven't, though.
They haven't yet. That was because I took a breath and somebody said, "What about the stunts?" And I am actually waiting to see what you do with the stunts before I decide whether the range is well. I've decided before I tell you whether the range is enough that there's a risk.
Oh, okay. And we can't see the master anymore, is that right?
Let me just have a look. I've got my vision set to you. I'll just pan up the corridor.
I can't actually see him, so I'm just making sure that's accurate.
I've just realised where he last moved to, and no, you literally wouldn't be able to.
I have a suggestion.
Go on.
Free spell.
Oh, just to not charge me any magic for it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
Or regain the 6 stunt points as spell points.
I was kind of thinking that maybe, like on the odd occasion when it's possible to ask for divine intervention and you've got the god's attention, humbly not asking for anything.
Yes.
As a sort of banked +1 somewhere down the line.
No. Purely as an act of humility.
Yeah.
Not imposing on the god any further, who has clearly just done exactly what it was we were after. We are in no further need of anything
else.
Yeah.
Paylor has provided for everything that we would wish to enact. I think asking any more at this point,
Being
even with
greedy,
6
is that
points of
what you're saying?
stunts, would be greedy.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so as the thing explodes, could I have a dexterity acrobatics
Yes.
test for everybody who isn't in the corridor, please? So Adrienne just kind of drops to her knees so that, Gora has become her shield. Oh dear. Right. So Mog, you can see this large piece of metal coming straight towards you. Gora, let me just check. The target number was 9.
Oh,
so,
well, charged real smooth there, Kellen.
was,
Cartwheeling out of the way of things.
So Mog is literally the only person to get clonked by one of these bits of molten metal heading directly
What?
for her. So
But you know how you tempted fate earlier.
9 points of damage. Thunk. Ow, 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 ow. That's really hot.
Ow!
It's
Does my
burning.
armor count?
Yes, armor counts.
Oh, thank God. 3 points of damage.
Okay. As it drops from you, as you brush it off quickly, it drops into the water, melts a hole through the ice that's formed there, and
That'll leave a scar.
cools down. Yep. That will leave a little bit of a
Ow!
scar.
Bet it'll itch as well, though. It's healing.
It will do. Aye. I think.
Okay, let's take a breather.
I
Yeah.
managed to burn myself with the blooming chips been eating out of my air fryer the other week.
Ooh.
Ouch.
And it's scarred, and it's got this weird crisscross pattern. Quite pretty.
Aye. Okay,
But
so
if you-
taking a breather, you can all get a little bit of, drink a little bit of water, pour a little bit of it over yourselves to cool down, catch your breath, have a bit of a sit down. You all recover 5 plus your constitution plus your level in hit points. I'm going to remove this because it's no longer even a
Thing.
yeah.
Ah, that's cool. I'm only 2 points off.
Oh,
full
the
now.
other
That's
thing I
cool.
think I can remove is you've now spent 5 minutes recovering, so we will remove the ice thing as well, because whilst you're taking your breather, you can see the ice slowly start to melt and then disappears
And I
completely.
take it the flaming weapon icons have come off as well.
The flaming weapon icons need to come off as well. They dissipate at around about the same time the ice melts. So there you
Ooh,
go.
light the place up. Oh, what happened there?
What happened where?
Everything's gone grey for me.
Hasn't for me.
It's like the light shed by Adrienne has gone off.
But is it not the light shed by our weapons?
No, I haven't turned that off yet.
Oh,
Just about
okay.
to.
Yeah, no, Adrienne's come back on.
Yeah,
okay.
I've just moved her.
Oh, right.
Ah,
okay.
It's sometimes just a matter of picking up the token and putting it
And
back
just
down
moving
again.
it. Yes, yeah, exactly right. It's sort of the token version of a reboot,
Yeah,
Right.
just updates it, refreshes it.
which incidentally my damn boiler needed yesterday because we turned the heating on. Heating worked fine. Went to wash my hands. No hot water. Heating's still going. No hot water coming through the same heat exchanger. Those two things. So I've no idea how that happened. But it just wouldn't give us any hot water even after I turned the heating back off till I rebooted the boiler. So now I
Yeah.
store my combat boots next to the boiler because next time it's getting a rebooting with an actual boot.
Hardware.
Yes,
The parts of technology that you can kick.
yes. Okay, so you're rested, you're recovered. The immediate threat of the monstrous Iron Maiden is gone. The master and mistress have disappeared into the darkness. What are you doing
Right.
Blood,
Where,
the Bloodhound spell. Where is he?
He will be. How long does this bloodhound last? By the way, I know it's in the hours.
As long as we keep paying for it. So if you work out how many hours it's been running, I'll take off the appropriate cost.
Okay. Well, it hasn't. It probably hasn't been hours. So there was the big fight up there. Then there was the interrogation. Oh yeah, probably about an hour. including all
Right.
the rests you've had in that time, so about an hour's worth.
When you first cast a spell, you'll know if the target is within a mile of you, and if so, what direction. It lasts for 10 minutes, and you can keep it active for 2 magic points per further 10 minutes.
Okay.
While the spell is active, you will know what direction the target is from you.
So about another 60 minutes in total.
12
Unless
points.
you'd already paid some of the upkeep, had you?
That's
You
a
might have
good
done.
question.
Well, let's say there's another 10 minutes gone between your explorations down here, your fight, and your rest. So take
Right.
another 2 magic points off. Seems
Okay.
about right. Because it runs in my mind that you did pay some upkeep last week.
Well,
I will make a note of it this time. So upkeep on Bloodhound
Yeah.
as of Iron Maiden Battle Rest. Okay. So at the moment he is above you and
Yeah.
very slightly to the west. Would he still be to the west? Yeah, he's above you somewhere. Yeah.
Right. The next level up is the one with the puzzle floor and all the locked doors.
Yes, that's right. It is.
What's
Are
to
we
the
gonna-
north?
You don't
Yeah,
know.
are
Nobody's
we
ever
gonna
been very far
Go
up there.
see if we can work out what the heck these are.
There's that as well. So there's this doorway
Don't
here.
know,
There's that
don't know what these
passageway,
are.
and there's this
Yeah.
passageway here. So that gives you plenty of, and obviously back the way you came. But yeah,
Right.
Mog has described those things that she's seen. The rest of you haven't seen them yet, though, so you don't know what they are. Yeah, yes, Patrick.
We came down here
Yeah.
on Nabiri's say-so to destroy the 200 years of shame of the fact that the butler was in that Iron Maiden. The other thing we were told to do was to come and destroy the demon's heart.
Yes.
That is now our primary objective, surely.
Yeah.
I guess.
Which way to the demon's heart?
Yeah, it's
You've
the
no idea.
Through
demon's
his
heart
stomach?
in the demon though.
Is it through the demon's stomach?
It's through baked goods, same as mine.
Dwarf bread.
Oh no,
Correction,
no.
it's through edible baked goods.
Cut me own throat Dibbler's rat on a stick.
Yes.
Does lembas contain hobbit milk?
So unfortunately, you don't know where the demon heart is down here, but you know it's in the dungeons in the basements somewhere. You don't technically know whether it's this level or the level above, but you do have some mysterious devices that Mog's tried to describe to you, and a mysterious passageway you haven't been up. And
Which way do you want
also
to go?
the long passageway that Mog went part the way up before encountering the Iron Maiden when she was here last.
Well, that obviously leads to another entryway going down that way.
That's how the
So
water's
there's-
draining out, most likely. Yeah.
So there's another stairs or a sluice or something.
Well, the very fact that the master is above us now says that there's
Yeah.
another set of stairs.
Okay, so my vote would be to either investigate that room over there or to go north.
This one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I'd quite like to investigate that with some people smarter than me, so I don't know what the heck they are, because I'm curious.
You've been in there before?
Yeah,
Let's
that's
do it.
why she was the one describing them to you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, describing these things here.
yes.
Right.
I can't see those things there.
Which is exactly why we should go this way, and then you can see those things.
Let's do it. Let's go that way.
Okay, go ahead and move yourself up there. So,
Splosh, splosh,
the
splosh.
small chamber that you enter has two...
Why are you wetting your powder again?
Oh, damn it.
Oh,
Carefully. Yeah, but well, you did say you wanted people smarter than you to go with you. So.
Okay, so you find yourselves in a small chamber, barely more than 1.5 meters from the southern entrance to the northern wall, and something in the region of about 4 meters east to west. However, it feels even more cramped than that, because in the east and in the west you see huge rusting metal cylinders that run from the one wall to the other wall. Although at the northern wall, they don't go straight into the wall. There's pipes jutting out of the cylinders. One goes into the north wall, one comes out of the north side of the cylinder and then turns either east or west, depending on which wall it's on.
Right. Looking for any inscriptions, any maker's marks. I'm wondering if these might be created by some dwarven artisans or something, because Saragosa did have a history of working with dwarves.
Yeah, it's definitely dwarven architecture, but it's a lot older than 200 years.
This is what predates. Right. Okay. Is this a holdfast? Is this like a dwarven stronghold? Previously,
it might have been part of one. Yes, some of the other things you've encountered, such as you remember the lever that you were first confused by on the level above.
Yeah,
a pump. It's a pump. So if you pump it, it brings water up the pipe that you were also confused by. And that notion of a well that runs all the way from the surface right down, but also has pipes that form pumps on the intermittent levels. You've seen that before. You've seen that in your own holdfast.
Ah. Okay.
So you think it could indeed be have been dwarven at one time, although the proportions are a little bit larger than would necessarily be needed for dwarves. That's not unknown either.
It's been made by dwarves for a bigger people.
It could be, but I mean, parts of your holdfast are large enough to get much larger creatures than dwarves in as well. That's strange. I'm getting pinged to say I'm getting messages, but I don't see any.
Yeah, you have. You've got a message telling you that you've got a message.
Right.
That's the message.
Yes. Yeah. To suggest a sense of grandeur or to impress other dwarves, they sometimes build things much larger than is strictly necessary.
Okay.
Overcompensate.
In which case, looking at any kind of affectations in the building work, any kind of recognisable clan marks, little inscriptions, those kind of things that builders leave to show, to kind of put their signature on a place.
Yes, of course. Give me a cultural law, intelligence cultural law test.
Well, I've got historical.
Yeah, go on, I'll allow that one. Okay, let me have a look. So you scored... Oh, yes, you definitely recognise it then. You recognise the clan marks as belonging to your clan.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't explain why. You can't explain how it's here. It is at least 50 miles from where you know your holdfast ends, where you think your holdfast ends, where you've always assumed your holdfast ends. But here it is, right in front of you. It's your old clan mark.
Kellen, did your family kick my family out?
You've got to remember that this was the Tower of Nibiru.
Yes.
Prior to it being Saragosa.
Yeah.
Nice saying.
It isn't an accusation. It's just that we've all come together, and the more we unravel this, the more we seem to be interconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to remind you of one thing, though. Right? You are in the dungeons, which, as I've pointed out several times, predate the tower by a long, long way. So the abandonment may also, you don't know for sure. But it doesn't even appear in any of the histories you're familiar with. That's the odd thing.
You definitely not heard anything about this place.
Sorry, say that again, Louise?
I definitely heard nothing about this place.
Nope. I mean, you can give us another historical law test, either of you, if you would like to.
I would like Adrienne to do that same test
Okay.
to see if she comes up with the same thing or if she comes up with something that links to her past.
Okay. Go ahead.
Because I'm starting to suspect that the place just kind of has a kind of like insidious thing about it where it's like trying to drive a wedge between people.
Okay.
It's like, this place is yours. Oh, but it before that it was yours. And then it's like it starts infighting or something.
Wait, is that what the Taraka card was about?
This is my land.
I mean, remember, there was some confusion with the Taraka cards as well. 2 different readings. One said that you would be betrayed and the other said you wouldn't. Okay, so Adrienne has no knowledge of this place, historically speaking, at all.
Ah. Okay.
And then Mog looks at it, and it's obviously a Volkish design.
that is kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay, let me have a look. I don't have historical law, but I've got cultural.
Cultural law will be fine, yeah. Okay, no, this is definitely Dwarven design.
Yeah.
It dates back, as far as you're concerned, about 500 or 600 years. So it predates the tower by at least 250 years, probably more.
And there's no story of Exodus in the history of Gora's clan.
Is there
Not
is
that
there
Gora
any?
can remember. I mean, you can take a separate historical law test if you want.
I'd like to try to think back to any places where we were forbidden from going, or this place has like a taboo on it, kind of thing.
Okay,
Wait,
give me a cultural or historical law for Gora then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Louise, you were going to say?
wait a second. We're underground in a place of dwarven, in a place that's clearly a bit dwarfy and being abandoned. There's a demon down here and weird monsters and nobody to trust. Are we in the deep roads?
Or Moria, one or the other. Yeah.
Thou
Okay,
shalt not pass.
Gora does remember a passage that was collapsed and dwarves were forbidden to go down. It was said that the collapse was caused by just kind of natural, a natural collapse. It's always struck Gora as a bit odd because dwarves are pretty good at constructing underground structures so that they don't collapse. And the area of your holdfast is not exactly renowned for seismic activity. So you always wondered a little bit about that, and you're trying to picture it in your mind to think if it would have been heading in any way in this direction. But you're really not sure because it's 50 miles. There could have been twists and turns and all sorts beyond that collapsed hall.
We're in the deep roads.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, there were watching Darkspawn coming at us.
Yeah.
Well, there's nobody reading creepy poems because that freaked me out.
Yeah, it did a bit. Me too.
Creepy.
Oh,
code.
is this the new Critical Role?
No,
It's Dragon Age Origins.
So,
Was it Origins or was it?
Yeah, the bit with the poem is in Origins.
Yeah.
There's a section where you're underground in some abandoned dwarf cities and stuff.
Yes.
And you're in this really tight tunnel, and out of nowhere, after you've been walking down this really creepy tunnel for a while, someone just goes, "First day they came,
Yes.
took us away." And I'm like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
The first time I heard it, I genuinely thought, what was that in the room? Was that in the game? What's going on here? I thought Kev was taking the piss.
I mean, the text also appears on the screen, so that should have been a clue.
Actually, I don't have subtitles on.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know that Gora's clan markings, or Gora thinks that Gora's clan markings are on these constructions. That they are very old. Mog is convinced that this dungeon is very old as well, and both of you are convinced it's of dwarven design.
Right. Do we think those might actually be some sort of pump mechanism, valves or something?
It looks like water storage or treatment tanks of some description, yes.
Possibly connected to the big old pipes outside this room and upstairs?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
It
Shall
seems
we
to be something
continue
to do
down
with the
this
whole
way?
water-related thing.
Right. So where are we going next then?
I never did get down the rest of this corridor because I got chased back up it.
You didn't get
Yeah.
up the northern corridor either. Just
Well,
saying.
I would think everything will probably link up eventually, and if it doesn't, then we can backtrack.
That's true.
What one direction is as good as any other. Mog, by all means, lead
I
on.
wouldn't go that far. I thought they were awful.
Yeah, me too.
I've missed that one. Please do explain.
One Direction was a band.
Oh, right, okay, yes.
One of these terrible boy bands where nobody actually played an instrument.
From a TV show,
Yeah,
effectively Britain's Got Talent or whatever the other
it
one
was one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
I'm
Britain's
so
Pop
Got
happy.
Idol.
I'm completely disconnected from all of that. I haven't a clue, and I'm so happy.
Pop culture.
I can see why, to be fair, yeah. Okay, so you are making your way along this corridor. You can hear the occasional drip
Diddle-diddle-diddle.
of water, but it is only occasional. And you can hear the gentle tinkle of water as it's flowing along the passageway. The ground, the pathway is about, you would say, a quarter of a metre above the surface of the water itself. And if I'm not very much mistaken, you've just encountered another light
Sorry,
source.
what?
No, you haven't. Doesn't matter. Just forget
Another
I
Iron
spoke.
Maiden.
Another what?
Another Iron Maiden, yeah.
Has Mog become a light source in her own right because she appears to be glowing?
I might not have
What
turned
about
her
And
torch
actually,
back off.
Kellen is as well.
Kellen's got a lantern.
Ah, okay.
No, he hasn't really. It's just
Mog's just got a sparkling personality.
Well, I've turned the lights off for both of them, so it should have got. Wait a minute. Did I hit save though? It can be twitchy about that. Sort of
Is this the flaming weapons effect?
Yes. It might be. It might be that that's still active for reasons best known to itself. Okay. Up ahead, you see another portcullis. Originally, the portcullis was dropped along the full access of the chamber, so it descended into the water and straight across the path. However, the bit that's across the metal, you can see, across the pathway, you can see that that's twisted and ripped open, as if something heavy just charged straight through it.
Like an Iron
Is it
Maiden.
an
Yes.
Iron Maiden shaped hole?
Yes, it is. And
like a cartoon.
yeah, and the one on the far side, beyond it, you can see it widens into a chamber of some kind. There is a wooden bridge across the chamber, across the water channel which cuts through the chamber, I should say. And on the far side, where this passageway continues beyond the chamber, you can see another of these portcullises, and the same thing, the part of it that's on the pathway has just been smashed through, probably by the Iron Maiden.
What the heck is this?
Looks like somebody's signature.
It's a magical a magical sigil of some kind.
This?
Yeah. Well, it's on the floor under the water, so it's hard to see.
Interesting. Can we get through the portcullis?
Yeah, because there's bloody great Iron
Yep.
Maiden shaped hole.
Well,
Can we
okay,
get through?
Hang on,
We're already halfway through.
hang on. I'll ask the question again.
Yeah.
Can we get through the portcullis safely?
Well, I won't go that far.
Ah.
I can make you no promises on that count.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mog, could I have...
Just watch out for the stabby bit.
yes, could I have a dexterity acrobatics test, please? No, I'm just kidding.
It's a Baron not count.
So you've made it into the fairly large chamber. You've ducked under the the pointy, twisted metal bits. You can see there's a passageway off to the north as well as the
And a bunch of flippin' levers.
and a bunch of flipping levers. Yes, exactly.
Who's going to flip the levers?
No, but there's-
Not the person
Well,
who's going to have to
three
put you
of
back
them,
together if
four
you get
of us.
hurt.
There are indeed 3 levers here. Yes.
Oh, actually, I can see a fourth.
Oh right, yeah. There's a shadow of one over there.
Yeah,
And there's 1, 2, 3 on this south wall.
there is. Yes.
I would presume that a couple of them are to do with raising and lowering portcullises.
It probably won't work now as those portcullises are broken.
This one could be the for this portcullis. This one could be the one for that portcullis. And that one's probably for a portcullis here. Are there any holes in the ceiling, floor, or whatever going up
No,
this
there
corridor?
aren't. There aren't. Not that you can see from where you're standing. You can only see
Right.
about 1.5 meters down, but there's nothing in that 1.5 meters
And
down.
then-
No holes or.
There's no wall at that point there, it looks like, from here. So
From
What's
there,
up
it
with the
looks
walls
like it
then?
widens up there. Yes.
Are these style of portcullises popular or traditional among my people?
Portcullises, yes, but these look like they've replaced older ones.
Right. What would portcullises in a dwarven holdfast be used for? Is it just like a matter of security, keeping
Yes.
things in, keeping
Yeah.
things out?
Yeah, both of those things, just security, as you say.
Hmm.
Keep things from being in places that they shouldn't be.
What does the layout of this place make Gora think of? Does it kind of evoke any kind of recognisable utility to dwarves?
Well, so far, the theme for this level has been very much water related, which
Yes.
would suggest the aqueducts that you get in a lot of your holdfasts.
Mhm.
The level above was extremely different, but then a lot of the structure on the level above wasn't as old as this.
yeah, this looks like we could be in the in the waterworks for an old dwarven settlement at this point.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is it worth having a go on these levers and just seeing what they do? Because taking a look at that is of interest, certainly. Does this portcullis also have a hole in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is
Looks
Debris.
like kind of
What's
bones.
left of it? Yeah.
that's debris of the portcullis.
Aha.
Yet there's not at this side.
Well, that was because when I did the map, the hole wasn't in this bit yet. That hole
Ah.
appeared when the thing chased Mog down the corridor after spotting her.
Fair dues. Okay.
Sorry.
So there is debris at this side, sort of matching this.
Yes, there will be. Aye.
Okay. Right.
Probably splinters in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. In which case, we're going to take a step through here, and there's another lever on this side as well. I've just noticed.
Mhm.
Going to go and have a look at this magical signature.
Okay, go ahead. Get a bit closer and then give me an arcane lore test.
Oh, this opens out.
Mhm.
I'll have. Don't send more squishies. I want some clank. Thank you.
Is Mog going to keep an eye on the northern corridor then? And like,
Oh my goodness, this is huge and full of bones.
Lots
is-
of bones and other debris.
Sorry, I
Ooh,
missed that, Woody.
there's something up there. There's something that looks like plot.
Something that looks like Mog. What?
Plot.
Hang on. I'm coming up.
But
Wow!
did you just push past everybody?
ran along the wall.
But not a rang along the wall.
Just a very
Yes, you
awkward
kind of
fashion.
spied it above you, so you,
Yeah.
as you got there, you saw Mog running along the wall above you.
Ceiling or whatever.
Just nudging mages and clerics into the water to get past.
Spider Orc.
Right, what is
You
this?
complained when I got my powder all wet. What more do you want?
What is which? Which are you asking? There's a
I
lot of things you
complained-
could be asking
I
about.
complained that you got it wet twice.
Exactly.
Once is enough as a lesson. Right. What is the magical signature?
Right, give me an arcane lore test. 18,
Done.
right. It is some kind of restraining spell. It's designed to keep something on one or the other sides of it. Given that it is next to another very heavy portcullis here, in fact, it's not even a portcullis, it's actually a door with a grate at the bottom just to let the water through. This is designed to keep some magical entity from getting either through the door in one direction or the other.
Thinking back to the beast caves and the sigil that was on the ground that held back the Stitch zombies,
Yes.
does it have any similar symbology to it?
Yes.
As in, that kind of restraining magic.
It does, yes.
And does the handwriting of it, the calligraphy kind of thing, the cryptology, whatever the word is, does it look the same as that?
Yes.
As though it's been written by the same person.
You would say that there is a very high chance it's written by.
And is that person Saragosa?
You believe so. The notes you found in the
Could be Dagrath.
in the thing suggested it was Saragosa that you found in the Beast Caves. Dagrath wasn't with Saragosa in the Beast Caves. That's a period of his life, according to all the notes that you've got, where Dagrath wasn't around. He was with them in the manor,
Yes.
and then they separated during the escape from the mob.
Right.
And he didn't reappear until Saragosa was here in the tower with Nabiri.
Right. If that had been stated outright previously, I didn't remember it, so thank you.
I'm not sure whether I mentioned that outright or whether I just implied it and hope you would infer it, if you know what I mean.
I must say, I absolutely love the texture and the background for this room.
It's nice, isn't
Very,
it?
very characterful.
Yeah.
Is that a shield or is it like a cartwheel?
That's a
That's
wheel.
a cartwheel. Yeah.
Right.
There are shields as well, though, scattered about the place. Bits of armour, bits of corpse, all sorts of things.
This looks like the feed the butler anybody we want to get rid of type of.
There is a significance to the cartwheel, though. I don't know whether it's intentional, but if it's there in play, then certainly I think Gora and Mog would immediately recognise it as what about the chariot from the tombs?
It is a chariot wheel, yes.
So is this blood fresh?
It's dried,
Okay.
so it has been there for a while, but it doesn't look like it is centuries old. You're talking, I don't know, months probably, a couple of years, absolute tops.
I reckon this is where the butler was.
Yeah.
He's kind of held in place, and basically, or haunted, and it's where all this is debris is from his victims.
Oh yeah, agreed.
And perhaps the actual sigil on the floor there stops him from leaving.
Agreed.
Yeah. Or keeps other stuff out. It's one of those things. But if it's a door with a grate in it,
Whoa!
Is this written in a language you understand?
That set of bones has just slid together with a clanking noise and
Behind you,
raised
Mog.
up.
I thought that was Kellen.
it's behind you. There's another one.
Okay.
Yeah,
We've got some undead.
you have indeed. Yeah, these piles of corpses have suddenly just pulled themselves together and stood.
Yeah, I think
That sigil that held back the Stitch zombies, the same sigil or very similar sigil holding back some undead. I flagged it up, didn't even pay attention to myself.
Well, it happens, doesn't it? Just give me a quick second to check some details for something.
This could be an ambush left by the master as he fled.
Yeah, could be. Might not be, but it could be.
Mog, activate your tattoo. Don't forget. Not
No.
the spider one. Don't leave me.
No, I know. I knew which one you meant.
Okay, give me initiative tests then, if you would be so kind, please. And I will just adjust something over here for that. And there we go. And now I should be able to close him off. And I'm right in thinking that this one over here has also animated as well. There we go.
Oh, I'm glad I checked it. That's plus
So
2.
you've now
Did
got
we-
4 of these undead creatures have formed up from the remains that were lying scattered about the ground just before.
Did you have the turn order open?
Shit, sorry, no I didn't. My mistake. So, opening the turn order now, removing the previous detritus from it. Clear. Right. Okay, it's open now. If anybody's already rolled, I can put you
Yeah, I
in
already
manually
rolled.
if you would like me to. Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so Kellen, what was yours?
16.
16. And Mog, when I find you, there you are. What was yours?
Hang on.
17.
Yeah.
17. Right, you are. Getting some good initiative rolls from the party. So let me just have a roll.
So, funny, Kellen's not going first this time.
Yep.
Kellen's going ladies first.
Ooh, hello, what's happened here? Right, okay, I'll see, I think. So that's that one. And this one. And this one. And where's the other one? I just can't see it. Oh, there. Is that it there? Yes, that's it there. And initiative. Okay, they're actually. I've just spotted. Luckily, their initiative will be the same, but I think I've picked the wrongs. One's out for. Yeah, that's it. Right, okay.
Did Mog actually get to see what this is on this crate?
It appears to be paperwork with writing on it of some description.
Did the undead get up when that was interacted with?
The undead got up as she was looking at it. Yes, I would say that's a fair statement.
Interesting.
Whether that was like a deliberate trigger or not, it's difficult to tell, but it would be a coincidence if not. Having said that, coincidences like that do happen, so you don't know. You're not sure. Okay, I'll just finish typing in these hit points onto the what's names. Obviously, I couldn't have these prepped, or you'd have spotted the. I suppose I could have put them on a Games Masters list. Don't know why I didn't think of that. Right, okay, so let's order descending, and the first person to act. Well, actually, they get a. Do they get a surprise round though? Because it takes them a second to form. Let me just check what it says about that. I don't think I've written it on their powers skills on this one. Okay, let me just check the rules. Right, it's a minor action for them to form up. So yeah, they could get a surprise round. So let's go with that then. So this one is going to attack Mog, because of course. So it's attacking you with a long sword, and I'm going to say no, it can't aim. Let me see. It got a 14. Is that a hit?
Yeah, that's a hit.
That's a hit. So it takes you by surprise and slashes you across the back for 8 points of damage.
Ouch.
I'm just going to change.
Oh, stupid idiot! It's down, not up.
Aim to toggle rather than. Sorry, what's up down instead of down?
I was changing my health on my sheet, and I went up instead of down.
Ah, right. Okay, no problem.
It's a healing sword.
Okay, so the surprise round for these ones is going to be to charge people, I would think. So this one will charge 'Gora, and will attack 'Gora as well. So with its longsword. It swings at Gora for 19. That sounds like it's going to be a hit.
Ouch.
For 5 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
This one charges Adrienne. If you've ever seen the old Ray Harryhausen animated skeletons from Jason and the Argonauts, where they kind of spring out of the
indeed.
ground, but then they
Yeah.
do that shriek and they actually charge rather than the slow clanking movements. That's what these things have done. They've just charged in. So this one's going to take an attack at Adrienne with a longsword.
It's one of my granddad's favourite
And
films,
misses.
and I remember watching it so many times. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a 10. I suspect that's a miss.
That one in Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans, the original as well, not the
Absolutely the original, yeah.
not
probably.
the abominable remake.
No.
Not the G'day Clash of the Titans.
Yeah. I don't mind reboots as a general rule, but I just didn't feel that one had the right feel to it at all.
No.
Yeah, not a Spider-Man fan, eh?
Well, I don't like superhero stuff, so
I absolutely love superhero stuff, and Spider-Man is my favourite.
Right.
And I've loved every reboot that they've done. Complete sucker for it,
yeah,
and I'm really looking forward to the next one.
fair enough. Okay, so the attack on Kellen lands a 17. I think that might just narrowly be a miss.
That is a miss.
Yeah, thought so. Okay, so Mog, it is round one, so it's you to go.
Well, I'm gonna axe this guy here because Gora has less defense than me.
Okay.
Does Mog get a +1 for it being
Yeah, I was
outnumbered?
just about to ask.
Yes, because it's actually concentrating on a different enemy. It expected you to fend off the one that attacked you. So yeah, you'll get +1 to hit because you didn't do
Okay,
that.
what's its speed as well? It's dexterity, sorry.
It's dexterity. So the target number to hit it is 13.
No, I meant what is its dex so that I can.
Oh, sorry. So
Right,
you know if
see
you do
whether
the
it-
additional damage, 2.
Oh, that's the same as mine. Okay, right. Two.
Does its armor penalty not penalise it?
Let me just check that.
Oh, nice.
Yes, it does. It penalises it by 1.
That's got all my stuff thingied in
Oof.
on my sheet against undead.
Okay.
Because of that tattoo, I get +2 to hit, but also a +2 on the damage.
Jeez, right, okay, so you spin round and despite a fairly poor roll, that becomes a fairly solid hit right in its flank. Crack right under its sword arm, up by the ribs. Go ahead and roll the damage.
You've got 2d6 plus at the top there. Why is that?
That is another D, yes.
Ah, so it has, yes.
Because if it was just +2 for the tattoo, yeah, to
Yeah.
hit, that would be a 14.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
Still a
that makes more
hit.
sense, yeah.
Still a hit with 3 stunt points.
Yeah, but where you've put 2d6 plus, that should probably...
Hang on,
be a
I've
2,
set it up wrong then, sorry.
It's alright, I've seen this happen a few times with different players. It seems to be
Okay.
quite
Easily
good.
done.
I think I've
Right.
done it myself once, actually.
Yeah.
By
But
once, I mean
anyway.
for an entire game, like when I was setting a game up. Every NPC I set up in it, I think I do it for. So sorry, go ahead. You've
It
still hit
wasn't
it
a
up under the
21
ribs.
then.
No, but it's a 14. It's still a hit.
Yeah,
and it's still
14's
got
good.
3 stunned points as well.
Which would allow you to attack the other one as well if you so desired.
Of course I do.
Okay, go ahead and roll the damage on the first one then.
Right.
And you get your pinpoint in this one.
Yes.
Do I get that as well?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, because we have the same dexterity.
No, it's got an armor penalty.
It's armor penalty. Sean
Oh, right,
reminded
okay,
us about because it's heavily armored, so it gets an
Okay,
armor
so
penalty.
was I supposed to get an extra dice there? Right, hang
Yeah.
on, let me roll that then. I'll get this eventually.
That's all right.
Oh,
Unfortunate. 13, so it is wearing heavy armor, which is 6 points of armor. So that is 7 points get through.
okay. That's not bad.
So the force of the blow has managed to fracture one of the ribs even through the armor. It's not that the axe has penetrated the armor, it's just that so much of the force has been passed through that you've fractured one of its ribs. If it was actually alive, that would probably hurt quite a lot, but it isn't, so it didn't. Go ahead and use the rest of your stunts. Or rather, use your stunts.
For 3 points, you could attack the other one.
Yeah, that was what I was going to do. Yes.
Yep, lightning attack on the other one. Right, go ahead.
Yes. So I will swing round with the axe, still using the momentum, and
So you don't get the +1 bonus for outnumbering this one.
no, there's +2 to add to that as well.
17, that's a definite hit, and you don't get the 4 points of stunts because this is an
No,
attack
that's
that was
fine.
generated by stunts, but do feel
That's
free to
fine.
roll the damage. 12 damage, so that's 6 gets through. So again, you hit that one quite heavily in the shoulder, and you can hear its shoulder fracture where you hit it as well. So that is Mog's go. So it's Adrian next. What would she
Don't
like?
distract me while I'm reading.
I hate that.
Incredibly rude.
You're saying that, but I'm hearing that in Marie's voice.
Dropping 5 points of magic on Sia.
Yep.
To give I think it's a re-roll ability.
Yeah.
To intelligence fate.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a free action.
Yep.
Hands of Fate is a major.
Yep.
That's a pass with 6 in the hands pool.
Okay, so once again, Fate responds favourably to Adrian's call for assistance.
I think she's the favourite of fate at this point.
Seems to be, doesn't she?
Minor action to run behind Callan.
Right, okay.
We're going to put her in this square there, that square there. Right?
Yep.
Okay,
Unless you've got a better idea.
She takes cover behind Kellen, and it is Kellen to go.
The only other place would be around the corner.
Which would line of sight to being able to help everybody else.
Yeah, that's the only other thing.
Yeah, she's on full health, and it's a matter of supporting the party. Okay. I don't see, famous last words, but I don't see these as being that big of a threat that she needs to run away. Not yet.
Okay.
Right, so I'm going to swing the sword again.
Mm-hmm.
I just seem to do this all the time. Just swing that sword, swing that sword.
Do what you do best.
19, that's a fairly solid blow you've struck right into the central sort of chest cavity of the creature. You can hear splintering bone from underneath its armour.
Yeah, and I'm going to stand firm at that point.
Okay, and you stand firm, and up next we have the skeleton that Mog attacked. This one's going to have a go at Gora, which was its initial target, with the longsword. That's 14 to hit. Is that a hit?
Oh, I believe it is.
Okay.
I'll double check it, however.
Yeah.
It thrusts forward with its longsword, 7 points of damage to Gora as the longsword bites into our limbs. One of our limbs, not all of them, obviously. The way I phrased that was a bit...
7, did you say?
7, yeah.
Ouch.
And for its minor action, it will...
Run away.
Run away. No, I think it knows it's under attack by 2 separate opponents now. It's also undead, so it doesn't have a great deal of reason and capacity.
I haven't attacked it.
No, but it assumes you're going to, since it's trying to kill you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got no minor action to declare, so it is Gora to go next.
Okay. Minor action. Casting Arcane Shield.
Okie dokie. So you begin reciting the prayer for an arcane shield, and one springs up around you in your defense. Let's just put a little shield symbol on. Let's stop.
We're putting an end to all of that damage nonsense.
Indeed so, yeah. Okay, so that was your major action. Do you have a minor one?
No, that was the minor action.
That was a minor action, right? Okay. Yes. Do you have a major one then?
Oh yes. I'm just going to take off the magic points for what I've just cast, and that is an upkeep of 1 magic point per turn that I keep it up.
Right, yeah.
Right. Ooh. Oh. Are you measuring from an area of effect spell?
Yeah, that's what that would do.
It is, yeah. It's a good point. And they're wearing armor as well, so with the armor penetration, that would be nice. With them being undead, I was kind of tempted to use like an aggressive healing spell on one of them.
You've been dying to try it.
Oh, I know for a fact it works because we did it on the bridge. It dissolved in my hands.
Right,
You remember?
Yeah.
So we know for a fact that healing touch works, but for some reason healing aura doesn't. I think it's like the wording of those spells didn't lend themselves to
it. It heals your allies.
Yeah, that was it.
Whereas a touch is a
yes,
physically you'd have to touch
that's
them.
right. It was the word allies that told us the spell only affected allies. It just didn't have an effect on anybody else. Yeah.
I am inclined to go with Sean's suggestion as ever.
Okay. Which was?
So yeah, we'll have a shock blast for these four gentlemen.
Okay, so you're going to discharge a shock blast at the enemy. There's a sudden burst of energy leaps out of your fingertips and flashes across the room, arcing from one skeleton to the next, to the next, to the next, and in every instance bypassing your allies.
With 5 stun points.
With 5 stun points. What would you like to do with stun points?
Hang about. Well, I think I'll make it. I'll make it a lethal spell, so it'll do an extra 2d6 of penetrating damage.
Okay, is it dexterity stealth to get out of the way of?
No, it's Constitution stamina.
Constitution stamina
versus my spell power.
Spell power is.
The spell power is 14.
14.
Which is correct because I'm not holding the staff.
Okay, so you've got a 14 this guy needs to save against. 15, so the first one saves. The second one, when it arcs across to him, I know that he'll still take damage, he just takes less, but we'll do all the saves first. Second one has failed. Third one, which is this one here, is not currently engaged, is passing his saving throw, and the one that Kellen's fighting is failing its saving throw. So let's start with this one here.
No, that one passed.
Oh yes, I was reading the 60 passed, yes. So let's start with the only one that was failed.
Okay, so it's 3d6.
Yeah.
Plus willpower.
No, not against the one that saved.
I thought you said start with the one that failed.
Oh yes, sorry, yes, sorry. 3d6 plus willpower, yeah.
3d6 plus 4, so that's 15 for the one who failed.
Penetrating or not penetrating?
15 penetrating indeed, yes.
15 penetrating, right you are. So that one flashes, there's... you can see bits of its armour are starting to glow in the heat as the electricity passes through it. You can see sparks, you can see the bones starting to char. It's in an extremely bad way by the time the energy's passed through it. Okay, roll the damage for those who passed there.
Well, it's the same damage for everybody.
Just without the plus 4.
Just without the...
So exactly. 11. So that one's not in much better shape either. This one here that hasn't suffered any damage yet is... oh shit. There we go. Seems to have fared somewhat better. And this last one here has also been damaged already, so it's in quite rough shape by the time the electrical blast has passed through it. So you've got 3 of the skeletons are, you would say, more or less on the last legs, and one of them's faring a bit better, but is still quite badly damaged. So you got this one here that was attacking Mog, is going to continue to attack Mog.
Free action of speech.
Yes, go ahead.
4 of them 4 of us.
Yeah.
Seems quite deliberate.
It does a bit, doesn't it? So let's have a look. So this one is going to attack Mog. Stabby stab. 16. Is that a hit? Louise? Louise?
Sorry, I was muted. I'm sat here going, I said yeah! And then I remembered I muted myself to eat a particularly loud cookie.
Fair enough. So you've been
Did it
stabbed.
scream?
You've been stabbed for 8 damage.
Yeah.
And next up we have
The cookie says,
this
do you
one
know the Muffin
here.
Man?
This one needs to close to attack, so it'll close on Adrienne. Walking straight past Kellen to get to her, it closes in and attacks Adrienne. Thrusting its
that's
long
very interesting.
sword through her shoulder. 16 to hit, that's definitely going to be a hit.
Yikes.
8 points of damage as it twists the long sword and pulls it back out. You can hear Adrienne screaming in pain.
Done.
And the one that's actually attacking Kellen continues to attack Kellen. 17, same as I got last time, missed. So Mog, you to go. Round two.
Well, nobody moved, so I'm going to try and do the same thing again. Stunts willing.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
So so that's I also need my +2 added to that, and there's a +1 for it being outnumbered.
There is, so that's a definite hit on that one.
Okay, cool. I didn't get a stunt this time. That sucks.
So that's,
Are you remembering
10.
your extra damage?
I didn't put my extra dice in. Sorry.
Okay,
Thank
go ahead
you,
and roll the
Sean.
extra. 2, so it's working up 1 point at a time. So that's 12, so that's 6 get past its armour. For a second, you hit it so hard that you think it's going to go down, and it actually sags to its knees and then stands back up 1 foot at a time, and pushes itself back up into a fighting stance. But it's in an extremely bad way now. And you didn't get the stunts you needed to make a
No,
second
I didn't.
attack.
And
So
it starts singing Chumbawamba. I get knocked down. But
back it up again.
Oh no, bard skeletons! Just what we needed.
And they're so appearing in one of my games now. So, Adrienne to go.
We will have. I think with the amount of damage they're putting out, puppets would be useful. When is puppets not useful, really? Need to be on the right sheet for a start.
Okay, so this time,
That has failed.
yeah.
Now, Sean, well, is it better to spend 2 magic points for a re-roll or just to spend 1 hand point?
hand point.
Hand point.
Right, thank you. In which case, it's a pass.
Okay, so Fate helps Adrienne convince Fate to intervene, and as it does, you manage to form 2 points of puppet points for later usage.
It wasn't too convinced, but it was
Yeah.
going, all right then. You know.
I suppose.
Fair enough.
That was a major action, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Minor action?
Minor action. Let's see how fast these things can run.
Okay.
See how
Speed
they run.
speed of 14. So
So it's 14 squares you can move
yeah.
on a minor action.
So is it shift to, or is it right click to?
It's right
just-
click to set a waypoint.
Thank you.
Yeah, you could get behind Gora.
Yeah. There we go. That's where Adrian's going to run to.
Okay, go ahead and move it to there then.
Behind the meat shields. I mean, other people.
Yes.
She knows that Gora's got an arcane shield. Even
Yes.
better. Now, if Adrian's theory is correct, that one there
Yeah.
stepped past Kellen to come after her.
Yes.
Based on what Gora shouted out about 4 of them, 4 of us,
Yeah.
if they are programmed to go after a specific target, that one's got its work cut out for it now.
Yeah, that's a bit. Yeah. Okay, Kellen, it's you to go.
Well, I'm just gonna hit the one in front of me.
Okay, go for it.
Character sheet. Get the character sheet up. Swing that sword.
That's 15. That's a hit, and with 4 stun points.
Right. So the one in front of me takes
9
that amount of damage,
Okay.
and the one behind me takes that amount of damage.
And the one behind you has taken 14 damage. Right.
Right.
So
Is that a lightning attack that you did there?
dual
No, that's a dual strike.
Oh, is it
Which
like
doesn't cost me 4 points.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
And then I skirmish to there with my 1 remaining point.
Right, you are. So you thrust forward to hit the first one, which badly damages it. Spin round and strike the second one, and as it's off its guard, you move backwards around the other one, keeping your eye on both of them to see what they do next. In the meantime,
And then I'll
over
stand firm.
and stand firm. This one over here, which is attacking Gora, is still attacking Gora. Longsword, 14.
Clang.
Now my spell power is it equal to the arcana that cast it?
Your spell power will be 10 plus your willpower, plus if you have the focus for that arcana, it'll be plus 2. Yeah.
Yeah, 16.
16. So it's a miss, then it clangs off the magical shield in front of you, which you can see the shield as the shape of a shield just for a second as the blow strikes it, and there's a flash of shield-shaped magical energy.
Just getting up on tiptoe to lean in towards where its ear would be.
Yeah.
Press Bella.
And it is Gora to go.
Okay. I think we'll have another shock blast.
Okie dokie.
Right. The one which is...
Oh, he's out of range now, isn't
he's
he?
out of range, yeah. But you can catch the other 3.
Yeah. I'm sure you won't have too much difficulty with the rest.
Or you could just take down the one in front of you, or...
Yeah,
it's up
they're
to
all
you.
in quite bad shape now. So it is up to you whether you think it's worth...
Well, they
taking
didn't look
as
healthy
many
to
of them
begin
out.
with, did they?
Well,
All skin and bone.
yeah. That's very true.
Honestly, I mean, if I just sort of act more like a speed bump kind of thing, and sort of stonewall the damage that's coming in, or bearing in mind I need to take 1 magic point off for that ability.
You got anything you could hit it with?
I do, but I'm not very good at hitting things. I've got like big stick and stuff.
Have you got a what's it blast?
An arcane. I could throw an arcane blast at it, but they generally don't do anything, especially against armor.
However, it might stun, and you could skirmish it back.
And you could get penetrating damage on it.
It's a possibility. Is my powder dry yet?
No.
No. Okay.
Something
Go on then. I'll throw a arcane blast
Okie dokie.
at the one in front of me.
At the one directly in front of you. Okay, go for it. 14. That streaks out and slams the creature directly in front of you. So give me the damage.
No stunts, unfortunately. So.
9 damage, so it's definitely gotten through its armour, and I think you just... Yeah, go on and describe how you end this.
It's like
This
Dora
beam.
points a finger and it
Hang
hits
on.
it.
Right. So having leaned in after sort of stonewalling the damage, leaned in and she went, praise Paylor. Hand on its shoulder, arcane blast,
Right.
turning it to powder.
Yeah, the arcane blast travels down through the shoulder of the creature and just shatters every bone, blowing it apart and rending it into nothing but powder as it strikes the ground in a pile of deadness.
Turning
Nice.
to the other one over here and smiling.
Okay. Doesn't seem to have...
I do have a minor action left.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Right, yes.
That one now counts as outnumbered.
Yes, it does. So you've advanced on it so that anybody attacking it now will get a +1 for it being outnumbered. It's its go, and it is going to strike at Mark one last time, because I can see its fate is now writ large on the wall.
Now that is very telling. It's seen me destroy its compatriot there, but hasn't considered me to be the greater threat.
It has continued to attack the same
Yes.
target it had before, yes.
Mm-hmm.
With 6 stunt points, or
With
has it?
6
Oh,
stunt
yeah,
points.
puppets.
You will attempt to puff it, force it to re-roll. You're
So it's a
probably best with
willpower. Yeah.
that. I don't think
Which
it's going to
skeletons
pass
are not very good at.
12, yeah, it's a fail. So it's going to have to re-roll that attack. And it's missed as a consequence. So as it lunges forward for Mog, its blade level with her eyes, almost about to pierce them, when Goris steps forward and goes, "Hello," and completely distracts it. In the process, as it kind of looks to see what's happening, Mog steps sideways out the way of the blow, and because it's not looking, it doesn't get a chance to correct its attack. It misses instead.
I mean, you get off my eyes as well. I need them. I'm an artist.
So this skeleton here is going to have to do some measuring. Hold on. Away. What's happening there?
Just whipping out its extendable measuring tape. Great. Skeleton architects, just what we
Shit,
need.
I've fallen a bit for the... I didn't have everything I needed on hand there. Let's try this again. 6. So it's going to have to have 9 to move that far. Let's see if it has. Its movement would be 12, but it is hampered by its armor. Still has 10. So yes, it's going to advance around this side instead.
Proves the point, though.
Yes,
Yep.
that are definitely going after individuals rather than just any opponent. Each one has picked one of you. So it runs after Adrienne and thrusts this blade towards her neck. Skeleton warrior long. So 11, is that a hit?
Miss.
Miss.
Ooh.
Right, you are. She leans backwards just in time to get it out of the way. And the final one will attack Kellen. And 14, that's a miss. So round 3, and it's Mog to go. Or round 4, I think I've lost count now. One or the other.
Right, I'm going for the one I'm next to, because I reckon I'm probably taken out in this round if I manage to hit it.
Yeah, probably. It's looking pretty shaky.
Yeah, and then there's the +2 from my tattoo to go on, and I assume a +1 from
Yep,
being
so you
outnumbered again.
swing your axe and embed it right in the creature's armoured chest. You've got 1 stunt point, and you can roll the damage, of course.
Yeah, I'm just ooh. Right, okay. 2 seconds. I'm just reading through the stunts.
Yeah,
There are
no
stunts in here that I don't remember seeing before.
You've got a special stunt, I believe, at your level for being a rogue, which means you can do penetrate armor for 1 point instead of 2.
Oh god, yeah, can't I?
Shit.
I forgot about that. I'll take that.
Okay.
Thank you, Encyclopedia of.
Combat.
Thanks, Paylor, for Sean.
Right, I am putting my extra blooming dice on this time. I've
Okay.
remembered.
Yeah, okay. No problem. And this is penetrating. Oh, dear. Okay, you can describe how this undead monstrosity meets its demise.
Piercing damage is the...
I
Yeah.
think you're going for eyes, do you? And then I'll raise my axe right up over my head and just chop straight down through it.
Right, you are. You bring your axe down above your head and chop straight down. It kind of moves its head slightly so you don't hit its head, but you hit it in the shoulder and cleave straight through the chest till all the ribs and the sternum all shatter.
Ooh,
And
xylophone
for a
noise.
second, the skull's still kind of looking straight at you, and the whole thing collapses into a pile of bones and dust.
Yeah, rogues are you're quite good because they get that pinpoint attack and that
Yeah.
armor penetration for 1, and adding that extra dice and halving the opposition's armor at level 2
Yeah.
is quite powerful.
It is. Adrian to go.
I think again, saving the magic points.
Yeah.
We'll try an arcane blast. It worked for Gora.
It worked for Gora. Yeah.
Pew.
That's 15. That's a hit. So she unleashes an arcane blast from her fingertips, which strike the creature right in front of her. And as a point gets past its armor. So there's a flash, and you can see the creature's lower mandible, its jaw, is now separated from the top of the skull and just crashes to the ground and snaps in two.
No biting for you. And minor action.
Yeah.
Run away.
Right, okay, you can move. Talking about biting, I don't know if you were watching the post-apocalyptic one we do with the other group, but Mark's character were in combat with some, well, let's call them bandits for ease of explanation. He plays this little kind of Glaswegian Raji. He ran, jumped onto one of them, bit his nose off, and then headbutted his mate who was standing next to him.
It was, that all happened out of sight of my character.
Yes, it did.
Didn't see any of that.
I should mention that at least one of those two people was visibly infected with an alien virus at the time he did it as well. And not surprisingly, Rab is now also infected with the alien virus.
And it's now running round outside.
Yes, he's the only person to escape before the police arrived because he's good at that.
Hang on, is a Glaswegian Raji called Rab?
Yes, yeah.
He's not wearing a string vest as well, is he?
No, mostly
And
a
his-
sort of
his-
tracksuit top.
And his weapon is a rolled up newspaper.
I will tell you this, boy.
Callan of Highgate to go next.
Right, so I've closed my character sheet for some reason. That was silly. Right, let's open that back up. Let's get back to it. Character sheet, right, so it's swing the sword, and what we need are 5 stunt points, but let's go for it anyway.
Okay. That's
No,
a hit.
No stunt points in there anyway.
No.
Shame.
And 10 damage.
So with 5 stunt points, I could hit this one,
Yes, you could.
double skirmished over to the other one, and then hit it.
Yes. So you swing your sword at the back of that one's head as it's trying to turn. You cleave the bottom of its helmet off and damage it by slicing part of its skull away. It still seems to be clinging remorselessly to its unlife, though, somehow. But it is. So it is. That skeleton's dead, so let's remove it. Gora, you to go next.
Okay. Worked well enough last time. I know that Mog's going to put a major hurt on this thing, so I'll just.
I don't know, does it hurt? Like, it's a skeleton. Does it have nerves left?
Nope.
No, you're going to lay the smack down on it.
Yeah.
And I'm aiming that one as well.
Okay, presumably at the one that's been chasing.
Oh
Avery,
yeah, absolutely.
Like some kind of macabre Benny Hill show. Yeah.
You know, for the first time ever,
But played on a xylophone.
and on the ribs, yeah. Having had this for some time.
Yeah.
There is a thing you can do when you cast an arcane blast and get 3 stunt points.
There is.
It's called a spell blast.
Yes.
So I could now do the thing that I was trying to avoid and spend some magic points
You could.
and deliver a further spell.
You could.
Can I resolve the damage from this one first and see
You
what
can.
effect it has? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a magic point off for my arcane shield.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to drop some damage on this, and let's see what effect it might have.
Excuse me, sorry. Okay, so you blast the creature at point blank, and 1 point gets past its armor.
That is less than ideal.
It is less than ideal. So you've damaged it, but not much. A crack
I
appears in his cheek.
I can cast any spell that is 3 magic points or fewer.
Yeah.
Jolt.
Yeah. It's like the very same thing. It's always good to know, like when you sort of jump in and say a thing when it was already in my head. It's like that confirms it as being the right choice.
well, Jolt's only a 2-point spell.
3 point.
Is it 3 point? Is it
3 point spell, yeah.
Okay, well, it does 2 points of damage.
Yeah, penetrating damage,
Damage, yes.
and there's the chance of removing its major action.
There is. So it's still reeling from the impact of the arcane blast when a sudden electrical discharge zips up and down through its armor as well, electrocuting it. It takes a little bit of damage from that. Let's have a look. Is it Constitution it needs to save?
It's
Con stamina, yeah.
Con stamina to save against.
Versus 14 in this case.
Not a chance. So it loses its major action next round.
And takes 2 penetrating damage on top of whatever it got. I think you said 1 got through.
1 got through before, so it's taken a total of 3 this round, which doesn't leave it with much, but it does leave it with some. So next up, it's that creature. Unfortunately for it, it doesn't get a major action, so it'll just use a minor action to walk around you two and try to get to Adrienne.
Yeah,
it's doing the.
We haven't seen undead behave like this before.
No, usually they just attack the first living thing that isn't on their side. Yeah.
Very clearly focused on each of them on one target.
Yeah. This one is going to turn towards its assailant and attempt to attack Kellen with its longsword.
Is that the first one?
No, that's the one that's been fighting Kellen all along. Right, so it's missed anyway. So it is now the next combat round. I've lost track of the numbers somewhat, but it's Mog to go.
Well, I can't quite get through this, so I'll have to walk around politely.
You can walk straight over the. That's a dead one. You can just crunch over.
Oh, is that a dead one? Oh, yeah, that's the one I killed before. Right. Well, I'm gonna stay in this square here because there's nothing more in this square, but I'm actually on this square. If that makes sense.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah.
I just don't want to make it awkward.
Yeah. No,
and everything gets stuck together again.
Yeah.
Awkward. She said awkward.
I'll tell you what. Actually, I'll just remove the corpse.
Oh yeah, you could just remove the corpse.
So I'll just remove the corpse. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Yes. So you crunch under your booted feet the bones of the previous undead and swing your axe at the one that's been chasing Adrienne.
That's very, very Conan.
Yeah, it is.
See them
did that roll? No, that didn't roll. What happened there? Oh no, that did roll eventually.
10's a miss. So you swing
hang
your...
on, hands. My +2 as well.
12, I think that's still a miss. Let me just have a look.
Hold on.
Yep, 13 you need, so you're going to need to spend a point
but
of hands.
it's attacking Adrienne, though. Is it not outnumbered?
So you get
2 to
+1. Yep, so you're not going to need to use the hands. Yep.
Hey!
So it brings its shield up to defend itself, and you manage to strike up and under this shield.
Hey!
Going for the up and under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you could add an extra point of. So you could do your penetration thing again.
Yep.
Your piercing attack, and get an extra dice on top of what you normally roll, and your pinpoint attack dice.
Shit, yeah,
wait, is that 2 extra dice there?
Yes.
1 for pinpoint and 1 for.
2 stunt points.
Yeah, it's a 2 stunt point one. I just forget the name for it because the changed
mighty blow
in the
right,
two different rule systems.
You can do a mighty blow.
Lethal's
Lethal's the double.
Yeah.
Mighty's the single.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna come out of this very well.
Oh shit! No, I don't think it is. Okay, so it ignores 3 points of its armour, giving it 3 points of armour, so that drops that down to 22. It had 2 hit points left, that drops it down to 20 spare damage. So it's now on minus 20 hit points. So
That's basically powder across the wall. It's just like Mug's taken an axe swing at it, and it's just gone and powdered all down the wall and hit this end here.
So
I mean,
essentially, that one's going to be a lot easier to walk over.
yes, it is going to be a lot easier to walk over. Is that how you'd like to do it then, or have you got?
Oh yes.
Right. Okay. So you shatter the creature. There's virtually nothing left. You can see the others are looking at it. Wasn't there a skeleton there a minute ago? This is just bits of bone go
like,
blasting down the corridor.
Just in my eyes.
Yeah. Adrian, to go.
Oh, okay. Well, we might as well fling out another arcane blast.
Okie dokie. I think you're going to be within range. Yes, you are.
Yeah. Don't know why I keep scrolling past it.
There you go. So her arcane blast leaps out from her fingertips, arcs across the room, and slams into the creature that's locked in hand-to-hand combat with Kellen. That's a hit. Oh, it's not.
It's not a hit.
It's not. 13
12.
you needed.
Oh,
+1 hands.
yeah, +1 from the hands.
Plus
pool.
1 from the hands pool is a hit. Hits the one that's locked in melee with Kellen. That gives you 3 stun points then.
Yeah.
Do you want to throw another arcane blast?
Another.
Or
Oh, because yeah, I suppose if you use the
lightning attack.
Hang on. Need clarification on this one again, Bryan, and I know we've discussed it before.
Yeah.
Does Arcane Blast use spell stunts or does it use combat stunts?
Well, that's a bit confusing, isn't it? Because it's technically both a melee and a spell one. So in the past, we've always kind of hedged our bets and say you can use either one.
Right,
But from conversations I've had with members of the Green Ronin design team, I think the intent is to use combat stunts.
Right, that surprises me, but fair enough. I'm not going to argue with them with their own game.
Well, it wasn't actually the main designer, but I think the intent is.
Right. Can I ask you a question though? Would an arcane blast, right? Yeah, count as a spell cast for a spell blast?
No, it wouldn't.
No.
So yes, I suppose that does give us the answer, doesn't it? They're just combat stunts you use. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's that 3-point throw another spell sort of thing, but it's I don't know.
You can still use a lightning attack, can't you? So
yeah. Or you could throw a shadow dagger at it, your choice. But
oh no, the whole idea of this is I'm saving magic points because you're clearly going to wipe the floor with the thing. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to survive this if I'm strictly honest, but it might.
Roll the damage anyway for this, hitting it.
I would quite like to throw a second arcane blast if one of the stunts can allow for that.
Yeah. It doesn't matter whether you look at combat stunts or spell stunts. There is still a 3-point option to do it again.
Yeah.
You're not going to need to. Describe how your arcane blast ends this undead creature's existence.
Firing between Gora and Morg, narrowly missing Kellen. It seems to weave its way, almost as though guided by the hand of fate, to the undead rictus grin of this skeleton that's bearing down on Kellen, although in a very bad state, and dissolves its head, and the rest of the bones shatter to the ground. Yeah.
So as it hits it full in the face, the head just disintegrates into powder, and the rest of the bones clatter to the ground in an inanimate pile, as it was when you first arrived, except not about to become an animate pile, I suppose. So not entirely as it was when you arrived. As the din of battle clears, you see that there are now still 4 skeletons upon the ground of this room, but they're in different locations. In fact, one of them is not really visible anymore because it was so completely destroyed. There's just bits of bone in what's left of its armor. but the room is no longer
A battlefield.
a battlefield. Yeah.
Turning to the room in general, Adrian looks around. That was a minor annoyance. Don't do that again. We're still coming for you.
I have a question about
Yes.
the skeletons. Do they have any heraldry on them? Livery? Any description?
Some of them will have, yes, but it's different for each one. So it looks almost as if they were not retainers, but probably some kind of adventuring party, or they may have arrived separately, actually, for all you know.
Right. So this looks like the remnants of people who've been lured down here to be destroyed.
Looks like it could well have been, yes. Yeah.
Let's
The
take
armor
a
is
look.
also quite badly rusted, because had the armor not been in such a fragile state, it would have had much higher armor rating. So it's
Wait, have they been
been
luring
here a
people
long time.
down here?
To the murder basement.
Yeah.
Looks like somebody might have been, certainly. But
Skill
how
box.
long ago they've been here, you don't know. Long enough to have skeletonized.
Yeah. Plus, also, there's been arcane dabbling in the dark arts, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past various characters to be doing necromancy in the
Yeah.
basement.
Let's check.
Let's look at this note.
Yes, what is the note? Both the
Also-
the mages are curious.
Also, is this a map or is it just a bit of wood?
It's a wooden storage thing where the top of it has rotted through in places.
So that's not a Batman motif on there.
No, it's not. Okay, the note.
Isn't it interesting how we're all looking at this abstract shape and seeing something different?
Yes.
Because I'm seeing a kind of cityscape.
Right.
Like this is a tower and possibly some ruins over here and
Oh, you mean like it's a painting?
yeah.
And that's a hill in the background with a tower on it. And this is like a gateway here at the front.
And again, you see, you're seeing things because it's abstract. Your mind's interpreting it in a different way. But to me, there's like a shooting star over here. This is like a tapestry of prophecy.
All right.
Like
okay.
here's a meteorite, here's a ruined tower. This is something else. This is like a gap in a valley. This is a background.
Well, actually, it's a
Potentially.
storage container where the top of it is just rotted.
It's just a
through in
rotten
places.
mimic in the corner.
Well, we don't believe that and want to spend the next hour investigating the symbolism of it.
Oh, okay. Feel free.
Is some circles in there?
Let's take an hour to get through this unlocked door.
Yeah.
We actually did that.
Yeah. More than once, yes.
We
Okay.
became a trope.
Yes. So the note appears to be written in a spidery hand that you don't recognise. It's badly spelled as well, but it seems to be part of a journal of some description.
Oh dear. Is this possibly the butler trying to write from within the Iron Maiden?
No, you don't think so. You think it appears to be the notes jotted down by possibly one of these dead things you've just encountered before they were dead. And it talks a little bit about some of the other things they've encountered since entering the tower. It's only part of the journal, so it doesn't tell you a great deal, but it appears that they, on the level above, seem to have encountered something in the foundry. The strange fiery beast in the foundry, which we eventually fled from. Badly injured, we found our way down here where we intend to rest. And then the next entry says something about a strange pounding in the darkness. Something is drawing closer. We are preparing to make our stand.
They have a cave troll.
They are coming.
Yes.
No, it's signed off H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah.
The shadows are gathering and the mirror on the wall is starting to twitch.
Rats of unusual size in the walls.
Yes.
I do not have long before it comes for me.
That's
Right.
that's the type of thing. Yes.
Let's take a breather.
Okay.
Really?
What?
In the room where these dead people left a journal that said, "Here, we're gonna have a bit of a rest in here," then died in. Seems like a great place to have a rest.
This
Hang
stair.
on. Are they? Hang on. There was 4 of them,
Yes.
and they were coming specifically after one each of us.
Yeah.
Maybe to try to warn. Maybe that's actually us, but in a time loop, and they were trying to warn us with swords.
To warn you with swords. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but you're not wearing armor, though, are you?
Surely to warn with swords is the dictionary definition of threaten, isn't it?
Here, listen to me. Or I'll
Don't
stab
rest
you.
here, or else
Die.
you'll stab you.
Hey, listen to me or I'll stab you. It sounds very much like one of my college tutors that I remember less than fondly from the days.
We will cut you if you give us jip.
You know the tutor in question.
So, are we
Before
okay for a breather?
Ofsted give me a ring, it was a joke. I've never had a tutor that was like that. Sorry, go ahead.
Are we okay for a breather?
Well, what this stairwell, the set of stairs that goes up?
Up.
The way I see it, we've already dealt with the threats that are here.
There's something at the top of the stairs waiting for snoring noises.
A breather is not us going into a comatose state.
Now, breather's a bit of a sit down,
Yeah.
quick bite to eat if you need it, drink, cool down, get your breath back. You stay awake throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
It takes about 5 minutes.
Wash the demonicker off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a devil to get off there.
I would say, well, we're going to take a breather. If you don't want to, go on ahead. But Mug would.
Well, okay. You guys take a whatever 5 minute there. I don't know, whatever.
Mages are squishy. We're not walking tin cans with almost 100 hit points. Untouched.
Okay, well, you can take a breather if you like. You will recover 5 plus your level plus your constitution in health points.
And you need to spend your 2 points for your bloodhound if you're keeping it up, probably.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll just correct my note here that it was
I can't heal past.
upkeep
oh, man.
after battle with
Just
skeletons.
yeah, there's something I want to say after we've
Pardon
finished.
me. Okay, well, before you finish the breather, could you give me a hearing test, please? And it's quite hard to hear, so it's going to require a 19 or better to pass.
Yeah, I'm quite hard of hearing.
Oh, do we still have a minus to our hearing from when I fired the Aquabus?
No, it'll have worn off by now.
Okay.
And also, you probably your hands points it unless it was heard in the end of the combat.
No, it would be during a breather, so you'll have run out of hands points.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody made it.
No, okay.
So nobody heard us from the future coming to warn us not to nap here with guns.
Yeah, nobody seems to have heard that. Yeah. Okay, so
And where is the master at the present time?
above you,
Directly.
not directly, above-ish. He's somewhere in the tower. You would say maybe 3-4 stories up.
Right. Do we continue exploring this floor, or are we going up?
I reckon we should go up that corridor to the east.
Okay.
Well, I say up. We should go north, back round the out of this room to the south,
Yeah.
and then up to the north.
This way.
Yeah, there's definitely 2 corridors on this floor you haven't explored
let's do
yet.
it.
I think the one that Sean's talking about is the first one you would come to if you went back. Yeah, that
This
one.
one.
I'm a great believer in exploring one floor before you do another one. So yeah. let's do
Really,
that.
really.
And when he
With a
says
straight face.
Oh, wait. Before we go.
Yeah.
Is this rope?
It is actually, yes.
Right, we now have more rope.
You
How
do
much
have
rope
more
is it?
is it good rope?
It's possibly not. It's been left here for quite some time.
That's
Yeah.
Slightly damaged rope.
Yeah, I would say
let's
it's not in the best
let's-
condition.
let's poke it with a sword. Make sure it's not one of them rope snakes.
It's definitely not a rope snake. No.
let's nurse it back to health.
You reckon if you wanted to use it to tie somebody up, you'd probably feel confident with that. If you wanted to use it to hold your weight while you were climbing, you wouldn't feel confident about that.
And other thing before we go, yeah, is there anything in these crates or that box or this trough
Oh,
or
yeah.
any of this debris?
The debris is a lot of bits of broken weapons, bits of stone, bits of broken furniture. There's some straw, very old straw in here. There's the occasional outraged rat that squeaks at you and runs away.
I wave at them.
Yeah, what's in the trough and the broken storage boxes is that it has been food at one point, but it's just a kind of mouldy stain now. And the other two storage boxes, one is empty and the other one seems to hold
12 rats that jump out at you.
let me see now.
Hello, Roland.
The other one the other one seems to hold just bits of pottery.
Check the skeletal remains.
Uh-huh.
Were any of them carrying the rest of the journal?
Good point. On the
like
skeleton
the
remains, you
degree
find
to the
some
remaining
other
journal.
parts of the journal, but nothing much. It looks like
Right.
a lot of the journal might have been eaten by the rats.
Okay.
I'm sorry, fellow adventurers, but the rat ate me homework.
Is this a set of bagpipes?
It is not. It's a coin purse, actually, so there's probably some
Ooh, cool.
coins in that. Let me just see how many, shall we?
I'm in big coin purse.
It is... There we
Sack
go.
of gold.
It's 25 silver pieces and 2 gold pieces are in there.
Oh,
marvellous.
put them in your thieves' purse.
What you notice about them is that the insignia on them's not one you've recognised before. You take a close look at it, it's definitely not. They've definitely not been minted in the Grand Duchy of Jeff.
Ooh.
Apart from the fact that
Ooh.
you don't recognise the insignia stamped on the coin, they're also not as rough as the coins used here. So the coins used here are largely, they get a coin blank, they hammer it with the stamp on each side, and that's it. Whereas this has got perfectly circular edges that have been filed and polished. These coins have taken much more work to make than the ones the Grand Duchy of Jeff uses. In fact, most human civilizations around at the moment probably wouldn't spend quite so much time on getting them absolutely perfectly round, perfectly
Yeah.
polished.
They're not dwarven, are they?
They are elven by the look of it.
Oh.
Ooh. Fancy.
They're not.
Gora's like wiping the hands on its
There-
top.
there's
going,
even
"Oh, I'm not touching
elven
those."
inscription round the edge, like
Ooh,
literally on the, not like
Tell
the
you
edge.
what.
Not if you lay it flat, it's not round the edge of that. If you stand it upright, it's actually on the rim.
Is
And this
it
is a
easier to
lot of
read
work
if you
for a
hold-
coin.
It
Is
says
it,
Queen
is it
Elizabeth
easier to read
II.
if you hold it up to a fire?
No, it's not.
Pass one over here. I want to evaluate it.
Go for
By
it.
evaluate, you don't mean chew it, do you?
Safe particular plans.
You've got to use all of your senses when you're evaluating things.
Evaluate in my pockets.
Oh, right, okay. So what you know about this coin is, to a coin collector, these coins would be worth more than their face value.
Oh yes.
However, if you were to just spend them as a standard coin, your average trader wouldn't really think much of just, that's a silver piece, that's a gold piece. But you
Thinking
would get
back.
probably about 5 times as much to a coin collector.
Wasn't that dwarf back in the art heist village town?
Yeah.
Wasn't he a coin collector?
One of them collected coins, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay.
So make a note of that if you want to keep those separately
Oh,
to
yes,
get the extra
indeed.
value. Yeah.
Well, Mog, you've picked him up, so please do hang on to them if
Yeah,
you're happy
I'll
to
write
do
them
so.
down into the contents of the
So that's
first one.
15. Mog writes down 15 silver pieces and a gold piece.
Yes.
What was it actually? 25 and 4 gold.
25 and 2, I think I said, yes.
25 and 2. Okay.
So 15 and 1.
25
Not that
silver
sort of
and
rogue.
2 gold in fancy elf coins.
Yeah. So, and you've written that in...
For the 4 stunt points, can I tell what the country of origin is?
Yes, you can. The Valley of the Mage.
Oh!
That is where we are.
You are close to the Valley of the Mage, yeah.
Okay.
It is almost a stone's throw away, really, across the mountains from here.
Yeah, okay. We'll get a trebuchet out later.
You did, when you first started looking into this place, you were told it was in the Valley of the Mage.
Yes.
When you got
Yeah.
here, you realised it's actually not, but it's very, very close. But there are some mountains between you and it.
And we were told in very patronising terms that because it was an area between a whole load of mountains that was low-lying and had a lot of magic used in it, it was known as the Valley of the Mages.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
I think the person who told us that was dead. Or is dead now.
Could be, yeah. Okay, so...
We don't take well to sarcasm.
And yet you
That's
hung
a
out
bit
with
of an
me.
extreme reaction to it, I must admit.
Okay.
We came to talk. We didn't start the fire.
It was always there. This is the
The world's
world.
been turning. Okay, so you go on and you can move yourselves up towards this passageway. As you peer up the passageway, let me just see how far you can see. There's some interesting
checking
stuff
for
in it. I just
traps.
want to see if you can see
We're
it.
going to move Adrian
Okay.
across to there.
Yeah.
So, Mog, from where you are, it stretches backwards into darkness. You don't see anything that strikes you as a trap, not from here anyway.
Ooh, what's that glow?
Yeah, there's something over this side.
Oh, you can see the glow already, can you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit green.
It is.
is.
Something is glowing green up ahead.
And on that
As you
note,
approach, you can see up ahead of you, there's a doorway here that used to have a door in it, but the door is now just shattered wood lying across the floor.
who's going first? I think that's where the butler came from, because he's obviously destroyed that door.
He has
that
done
would
in the
make
past.
sense.
Yeah, you notice that the damaged door, what's left of it, lies inside the room. So at
Someone's
some
broken in
point
rather
he's
than broken
broken
out.
in, not out.
Yeah.
So does that mean he was actually trapped where the levers are to the south, or in this? Because if there's a burst in each direction from there, and that door's been burst from the south,
Yeah.
he's been stuck in this bit of corridor.
Well, some of the damaged sections of portcullis are older than others. So the bit the bit to the west that allowed him to get to the larger room with the stairs in it, that's been broken down a long time, which means he's probably been wandering parts of the upper level up the stairs and down here. It's only recently, chasing Mog, that he came crashing through along
The one
to
to
the
the
east. Yeah. But he's definitely been up here at some point. You've no idea what this green thing is you're approaching. But it's flashing, you can hear it crackling slightly. It's vaguely reminiscent of something you remember seeing in the Tower of Saragosa, but it's almost like this has gone a bit haywire.
Oh, it's not another one of
Sorry,
those
not
portals,
the
is
tower,
it?
the
Portal,
tomb.
yeah.
The tomb, I should say.
The tomb.
And the tomb.
Yeah.
Oh, it isn't the mirror.
It's
No.
perhaps it's a barrier. You know, like
Yes.
the barrier between the statues.
That's the one. It's
Ah.
reminiscent of the barrier between the statues, but it's almost as if it's been overdriven.
Just a second. Check those coins.
Yeah.
Are they minted the correct way around?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Can I keep going?
You can keep going
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you want. You can hear a crackling, almost electric-y sound as you
What?
get closer and closer. And as you get there, you see from where you're standing now, the electrical also the green energy discharge seems to be emanating from a physical barrier, a giant metal portcullis that's easily 2 meters from its north to its southern end and 3 meters high, separating this chamber, which has the smashed-in door, from another chamber beyond. And from the chamber beyond, you can hear
The heart.
I was just going to say that's got to be the heart.
And a green electrical barrier. And the portcullis. The portcullis is intact.
portcullis appears to be intact. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go stepping into this room just yet because I have the feeling that if I step a foot in, I'll immediately get zapped. So, natures.
It's
Why
difficult
don't you
to tell.
pick up a piece of wood and toss it into the room, see what happens?
Okay. What have I got? Oh, I could throw some
There's debris on the floor in front
Oh
of
yeah,
you.
that's a good point. Okay, fine. I'll throw a piece of wood.
Okay, you grab a piece of the wood, which is kind of soft and crumbly to the touch as you pick it up because it's rotted over the years. You throw it into the room, it barely gets half a meter in front of you when the green pulsing energy seems to expand. Suddenly, it touches the bit of wood and the bit of wood catches fire.
Wow.
You
Nope.
You see it just burn away to nothing as it hits the ground.
Okay, right.
There's a bit of a smell of burning.
I have a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 levers back down the corridor, or 4 of them. Let's go and pull some levers.
We need somebody to stay up here and watch what happens.
I am here already at the front of the line, so it makes sense.
Okay.
Well, I mean, in terms of you already being there, yes. Probably having a fighter up here and a fighter down there also makes sense. Yeah, okay,
My
agreed.
voice travels well.
Okay. So
So-
those of you who are going to the bottom, you find yourselves faced with another rickety wooden bridge. that looks
This
like
lever
something-
over here
Yes.
be the first one we'd attempt to pull.
Okay, you pull that lever up there, over there, and you can see that this portcullis starts to raise. As it hits the part that's damaged on the where it would have gone into the ceiling, it's jammed. You can see it's trying to pull it through, and there's a massive grinding noise as the gears driving it to try to pull this bit of twisted metal through the hole that's no longer the right shape for it.
All right, well, attempt to flick it back the other way then to stop it from damaging itself further.
Okay, you flick it back the other way. Splash. As it locks back into the downward position.
Somebody go across that bridge and try the other levers.
Okay, who would like to do it? Okay, Gora. So the person who's loaded down with shitloads of firearms and other things, a little stocky one with the 3 tons worth of guns.
I was going to suggest Adrienne, seeing as she's
is-
not carrying.
I mean,
heavy stuff.
Adrienne's the lightest of the 3 of you.
You could easily jump across that gap.
Yeah, she can actually. So she kind of hop skips over it, lands on the far side, and pulls that lever she's standing in front of. Clunk, 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 as the same portcullis that you've just operated with the other lever rises to the ceiling and tries to pull itself through where it's damaged.
Yeah, so that's obviously the switches on both sides for that.
Yep.
Try the far side end one next.
Far end one next.
That's going to be the one to the
That's
east.
the one to the east, yeah. And the same thing happens where it's now damaged. It gets jammed before it gets pulled through as
Yeah.
well.
Knock that one off then. And then try the middle one. Where's that noise coming from?
It's coming from the north, and what Mog sees is that the portcullis is now raised.
Okay.
The blasting energy is no longer extending quite as far into the hallway, into the room, but it's still covering the entrance. So it's now
Oh,
blasting downwards instead of outwards.
Okay, right. I'm gonna just poke me head back down the end of the tunnel and relay that information.
Okie dokie.
Well, that opened it.
Still needs something else though.
Right. So what do we do? Do we put it back in place and then go back and investigate the rest of the level to the east? What do you want to do, guys?
I was wondering why you couldn't hear me there. I was muted that time.
Particularly
Right.
crunchy cookie.
We're 2 for 4 so far with muting ourselves and speaking.
Yep. If that's like the barrier from the tomb, we're talking about the one with the statues either side that,
Yes.
that hit it with the hammers and it shattered. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. It's
Right.
very similar, but like I say, this seems
It's
to be
missing the
overdriven.
statues,
Yeah, there's no statues here to break through it for you.
and there's no cauldron to drop the answer into because
Nope.
it was riddle based.
It was, yeah.
So this is overdriven in some way.
Yeah.
This right. Does it look like there's a place either side where a statue should be?
No, it doesn't.
Right.
And are we able to get into the room to this back wall?
You will
Well-
be able to if you're careful now that the portcullis has been raised, yes.
So somebody could have a look through to the west there to see what is they can see.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Which of you would like to risk it? I'll just switch the view over to... So the
Morg, I
people
can
at home
always-
see what...
Use that rope so we can drag you back out, but I can always put you back together. You know that.
Where does this arm go?
No, that's a leg.
My old friend, Mr. McGregor. A leg for an arm and an arm for a leg.
So what would you like to do?
I don't know.
What if they take
Head,
another
head
piece?
in. Let's have a look.
No. There's
Right,
more
yeah,
wood.
let's chuck some more wood up there.
Yeah, more wood on the floor. Throw some in, like just a meter off, 3 meters off, 5 meters off.
The one that's just a meter from the portcullis gets zapped and catches fire. The one that's 2 meters back from the portcullis doesn't. That's exactly where the first one caught fire the last time. So with the
Okay.
portcullis raised, you can get into about half the room safely.
Right. What I'm going to do
Yeah.
is I'm going to stand down here watching the levers,
Right.
Okay.
just in case anybody decides to throw the lever
Yes.
while you're actually in the room.
Good point. Also, because you and your great big mirrored suit are as far away from being electrocuted as possible, I know
Yes.
your plan.
Well, that did cross my mind.
Very, very wise.
Right.
So I was going to say, if somebody could stand over on this back wall and look
Yeah, okay.
out in this direction, you might be able to see something.
Just to go with the absolute.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah, that definitely looks like a heart to me.
Does,
Okay.
doesn't it?
Just to go
Tell it
with
to your heart.
the absolute minimum risk.
Mhm.
There were riddles and answers for the barriers in the tombs.
Yes.
I remember the first one that we encountered was gold.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think of what the other riddle was for the third tomb that we went through.
Right.
Well, they're not all the same.
Can't try something.
Can you see any inscriptions anywhere around the walls?
I don't know, can I?
You can't, no, you can't. You do know if you zoom in as tightly as you can, you might notice something interesting about the heart, though.
It's beating.
It is beating it.
I had noticed that already.
Ah, right, okay. I was
Is that the
expecting
thing?
ooh and ah, but no.
Ah, wood before.
Did you? Oh, yes, so you did.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, alright.
It's quite a cool animation.
Does it?
Kind of gross, but it's quite
It
cool.
is kind of gross, yeah. You think
So
it's
it
gross
looks
now,
so it looks like a human heart, a red heart, a beating heart.
Well, are
It's-
you safe
Yeah.
enough where you are?
Yeah. Mog's safe where she is. Yeah.
No.
So if I stand next to her,
Yeah,
I will likewise be safe.
should be.
You don't have to have an ice grenade or anything on you, do you?
I do have ice grenades, yes.
Just wondered if that would maybe freeze the thing.
So you can see the heart in the next chamber
I
as well,
can.
which is stood on a pedestal, and as you can see, it is actually beating at the moment.
It is.
It's not like an airplane where it's jumping off the table.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, as a healer, and I know you've got a sort of...
As a healer, you know that it's
Listen,
distinctly unusual for 7 hearts to still be beating.
Listen,
Yeah, go on.
that's not my question. Right, and I know out of character you've got a sort of major background in like forensics, human anatomy, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Is the whole are those aorta, like the 3 tube things?
They're there, yes.
Is that anatomically accurate for a human, or does this look distinctively?
Okay, so it is anatomically accurate in all except one regard.
It's not inside a body.
All except 2 regards. The second regard is it's vastly too big for a human.
Right. Okay.
Nobody expects the surgical inquisition.
Yeah. It's about 3 times the size of a standard human heart.
Okay.
And whilst human hearts
a
do
demon's
differ in
got a lot of
size a
love to
little
give.
bit, not to that, a demon's heart could be a possibility. A giant's might be as well.
Right. I think anything that we throw magically at that barrier is probably going to get zapped straight back at us, possibly twice as hard.
So grappling hook on a rope, pull the heart into the barrier.
The grappling
Yeah,
hook
but isn't the
will
isn't
melt.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Well-
isn't the like
What was
Like
that
whatever it
telekinesis arcana that you didn't
Well,
have?
Now you can see through
Psychic.
the crackling energy. The portcullis is raised. There's just the energy which is blasting more or less straight down now rather than vertically out.
so does that mean
You
I
can-
could go over it?
No, because it's filling the
comes
door
straight
space.
down- it's filling the entire door space. It's coming down from the top of the door jam. You can see through into the chamber beyond. You can see this massive beating heart. As you think to yourselves, how on earth are we supposed to get to that? Well, you have a week to figure it out,
Yep.
because we're going to call it there. So thanks very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed the game.
Definitely.
Excellent. Good. Thank you to those of you at home who've been watching the stream. Apologies for our slightly late start. But thank you again anyway. We'll be back with you again next week for the next part of the Tower of Saragosa. In the meantime, don't forget that you can sign up to the Gethsemane Games Patreon if you would like to receive these and other maps for your own use for as little as £3 a month. There's also the Gethsemane Games Twitter. Keep an eye on that to see what else we're up to, and the Gethsemane Games Facebook group as well. If you just want 1 or 2 of these maps and you don't want to sign up to a monthly thing, check out the Gethsemane Games store on Drive-Thru RPG, where you can see a lot of what we do is on there. And also check out our other streams in addition to the Tower of Saragosa. On a Tuesday night we also do Fallen Kingdom, which again uses the Fantasy Age rule set by Green Ronin Games, but is in a system agnostic dark fantasy setting by Gethsemane Games. That is on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock. Well, sometimes 11 o'clock. Also, we have our post-apocalyptic game, Pandora's Age, on a Friday. That is using the Green Ronin Games. You can see where we're going with this, can't you? Modern Age system. We kind of like Green Ronin's age system here, it has to be said. Don't forget that the music you heard today, DH9 Radio, BattleBards, Incompetech.com, and Tabletop Audio as well. So thank you to them for letting us use their work. That's it from us for now, though. So good night from us. Do stay safe. Take care. See you next week.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.